Now, the picture you're looking at is brand new, just came out today. It's that of Peter Obi in front of 10 Downing Street. Now, the picture you're looking at is brand new, just came out today. It's that of Peter Obi in front of 10 Downing Street. No way. No, that wasn't the Prime Minister of Britain with him. No, that wasn't the Prime Minister. That was Lord Isiabobu. Wow. Oh my God. Case closed. You know, folks, it's over. It's over. I've changed my mind. I'm now voting for Peter Obi for president. No, he met with the Junior Assistant Deputy Vice Prime Minister of State of Odstock. Yes. Hooray! I bet you Atiku has not even visited 9 Downing Street, not to talk of the great 10 Downing Street. Shikina, case closed. He's the president.
And then I am with the only and one and only Dr. Njakiri Damages. And then I want to show my support to Omoyele's show and the Nigerian people and myself, because I'm a Nigerian. I want to say that we need to fight for what is ours, and Nigeria is ours. We need to take Nigeria back.
My friend gave me my lyrics.
Alright people, all the way from where how do we start again now? So my name is Abdullah Kotiere. I'm here to introduce to you Dr. Njakiri Damages! Revolution mood.
Oh, Jamaica, boom, boom. Oh, Jamaica, boom, boom. Oh, Jamaica, my only country. Oh, yeah. Playback Nigeria with the support of Comedy Sports Scotland USA, Imaginary Table Canada, and Organizational Theatre India wants to take your children aged 7 to 17 years on a trip to Jamaica this summer. This is a wonderful opportunity for you and your child to visit the Caribbean island of Jamaica as part of the International Children Theatre and Leadership Camp 2022. Oh man, I wish I'm a child. This boot camp is themed Belongings and will be for 10 days from August 4th to 14th, 2022. The International Children's Theatre and Leadership Camp is a multicultural artistic leadership theater and adventurous gathering, and is open to children from all over, everywhere. Don't you want your child to be there? Children participants will be exposed to creative learning and receive mentorship in playback theater and improvisational theater. Amazing! They will be visiting exciting places in Kingston, Jamaica. Oh man, I want to see where Bob Marley was born and be part of a rich cultural exchange. Now, they will learn teamwork, attend master classes, and participate in plays, dance, witness shows. In today's interconnected world, exposure makes all the difference. Children with a history of travel navigate the world a lot easier. It adds to their recognition as leaders anywhere in the world. Yes, I know, that's how I ended up here. The spots are limited, so hurry and register. Some slots are open to parents of children attending. So you are allowed to also go on a trip with your children if you want to. Isn't that amazing? Now, the parents will also have a couple of corporate training sessions that can be applied to their business and work life. I'm thinking I might go. The cost for the camp is 2,800 per person. It covers hostel accommodation, 3 meals, excursions, tours, camp classes, and theater training, land transportation, and other costs. Isn't that wonderful? It's wonderful, reasonable. Participants traveling from Nigeria who need a visa, that's very important, will be assisted in getting a Jamaican visa with the help of the organizers at no extra cost. Other participants will have a letter to apply for their visa in their home country. These people are very good. Schools, groups, and parents are responsible for other costs relating to travel, including international passport, air tickets, transit visa where applicable. Yeah, of course. COVID-19 tests, pocket money, and that's very important, and medical insurance. Now, to confirm that you've registered, you are to pay a deposit of 300 administrative fee. Yeah, this payment is non-refundable as it will be used to process your invitation letter and book your accommodation. Balance payments can be paid in installments and are due after visa is issued. Reasonable. Now, because you know me, Dr. Damage's show is giving out $100 discount to anyone that will register between now and 31st of May. All you need to do is to pay your $300 non-refundable deposit. Pay an additional $1,000 fee for the camp using the code Dr. Damages in your description. Send proof to drdamages@gmail.com and we will facilitate your $100 discount to be deducted from your balance. Yes, they will remove $100 because you know me. Remember, you must have paid your initial deposit of $300 by 31st of May for this to work, for me to dash you $100. Note that you will have to submit all the required documentations by the embassy, such as a statement of account, a consent letter from parents that are not going with their children, a letter of invitation from school, or other documents listed in the brochure, and the embassy. Check their website. It's all there. So, for more information, more details, send a WhatsApp message to 234-907-280891 or email.
Corruption, impunity, and lack of accountability are responsible for Nigeria's underdevelopment. As citizens, we have a duty to report wrongdoings that endanger the well-being of the society. See something, say something. Blow the whistle today. Report corruption and other wrongdoings confidently and anonymously. Send tips to AfricMail on tips@corruptionanonymous.org or call 0811 877 1666 or the Presidential Initiative on Continuous Audit (PICA) on 0909 806 7946. Tips can also be submitted to the following anti-corruption agencies: EFCC, ICPC, Code of Conduct Bureau, or the Nigeria Police. This message is from the African Center for Media and Information Literacy, AfricMail, with support of MacArthur Foundation.
Oh, the first stories are always amazing, you know. Tinubu Oshibajo should tell Nigerians how Alpha Beta was founded, says Bode George. Yes! I say yes! even though Bode George was a convicted criminal, I like the man. What? Oh, sorry, I've just been told that. Okay, no, his conviction was thrown out long after he served his time in prison. I was told that for legal reasons, I have to say that. The point is that the man has made up his mind that should Tinubu become the next president of Nigeria, he will run away from Nigeria and go and live in Ghana. Such people have nothing to lose. Those are the people you should listen to. I tell you, those are the people. Next. Oh, farmers not repaying loans believe it is a national cake. The central bank governor laments. Emefiele, the man wanted to be president. Now he's lamenting that farmers are not repaying their loans, that they they think it's a national cake. Yeah. Who will blame them? Who will blame the farmers? If we were them, will you blame them? When politicians are bringing out 100 million, they thought that this was their own cause, you know. After all, they are part of government children. Government Pekin. They got the money, and that was what they thought. And why is Emefiele disturbing them? Nonsense. It happens. Next. Oh, Dangote broke. Doesn't have 1.1 billion naira. No, dollars, I'm sorry, excuse me, needed to complete his refinery. What? I'm like, hey, yeah, that, what? Really? No. I didn't know that there are some things that monopoly cannot buy. but wait. What about the billions of dollars, our money, that the NNPC gave to him recently? Did he finish that already? You know what? Let us do a GoFundMe, for the poor man. $1 here, $1 there. His mistress in Atlanta will contribute like $2. We raise 1.1 billion for the man to finish the job. You know what I mean? That's our patriotic duty. Oh, next. Oh my goodness. Dollar hit 610 to Naira. That's it. I'm not eating pizza anymore. That's too much money. Can you believe that? I think Buhari finally accomplished one of his promises of 2015 before he leaves office in May 2023, which is to make $1 equal to 1 Naira. But now it is clear that we did not hear the man very well. He said $1 to 1,000 Naira. But all of you misunderstood him and thought he said $1 to 1 Naira. You get as the man they talk, Oza room, I assure you. That's the problem. It is not his fault. It's just lost in pronunciation. One last one. Oh, I eat Gary 3 times every day, says Paul Amechi as he begs Nigerians to vote for him 3 times every day. Wait. The people are saying that something is wrong with him. Trust me, there's no nuts that fell off his brain. That from his big head, there's no nut that fell off. The man speaks the truth all the time. The day he told us that the reason why politicians like him steal money is because we do not stone them was the day I fell in love with the man. Go to his house any day, anytime. You will see trucks coming in, dropping bags of Gary, because he eats Gary every day. Everybody around him, they know that. I know even me. I've not been to his house, but I know that I see the trucks going in and out. The man eats Gary every day, 3 times. Hello. Trouble.
Oh, you must get set. Let us go.
Okay. Solo Francis.
Let's go. Carry me they go. Peter Obi carry me they go for better Ninja. Carry us they go. Peter Obi carry us they go for better Ninja. Carry me they go. Peter Obi carry me they go for better Ninja. Carry us they go. Peter Obi carry us they go for better Ninja. Whether na any party, now there we go. Carry us they go. Peter Obi carry us they go for better Ninja. A new Nigeria is possible with Peter Obi. Carry us they go. Peter Obi carry us they go for better Ninja. Anywhere you they go, now there we they go. For better Ninja, now there we they go. For better economy, now there we they go. A new Nigeria is possible with Peter Obi.
Peter Obi Support Network.
Hello, welcome to another episode of Have Your Say 247. My name is Rodolfo Okonkwo. This is a program that we designed for you to have your say on issues of importance to everyone. Um, all right. So on Wednesdays, we normally talk about issues that are of impact to Africans abroad. And we have such a topic today. The topic is about the attitude of Africans to interracial marriages. We have Africans who've been here from the 80s and the 70s. Now their kids are grown, they are getting married, and some of them are confronting that possibility of their children coming home and saying that this is the person I want to marry, and it's not the person that some of the parents sometimes dream of or wish that their kids will want to marry. So we want to have that conversation. If you have an experience, maybe your own personal experience or that of your kids or somebody that you know you want to share with us, so that people who are dealing with that circumstance could be able to learn something from it. We also have people who came to America, to Europe, or wherever you are in Asia, and they decided to marry people from there. What is it like? So we're going to talk about that. But this is a political season, and of course, things are happening politically across Nigeria and Africa. So what we're going to do today, we're dividing the show into two. The first half, we talk about politics. I know my people want to talk about what's going on with Atiku emerging as the candidate of the PDP, and Kwankwaso flexing his muscles, and Peter Obi joining Labour Party. And then, of course, we have APC, the ruling party in Nigeria, coming up with their own decision on who will be their candidate for next year's election. So we are going to do 1 hour on politics, and then we go into the main issue that we want to talk about today, interracial marriages outside of Africa. So joining me, as usual, some of people that you know by now. Let me bring in one of them who is here already. Ovie, how are you doing? You did campaign, and I'm sure you are happy about what's going on, your candidates and the politics in Nigeria. So,
I've been doing my best. I've been telling y'all what is happening, what is going on. I've been saying,
what did you say? What has happened? What? Tell me what happened in the last 1 week that you predicted.
I mean, Atiku is the landlord. I've been saying it for 4 years now, not even 3 years.
Yeah. Nobody wrote him off. I think people knew that if money became an issue or major issue in the election, that he would be the candidate. Now that you said it, if money becomes the issue, do you think that it will be Tinubu at the other end?
No.
How? Why?
Why? Well, the way Nigeria is set up, those two people can never become Nigerian president, and I think they know it.
The billionaires. That's what Dele Momodu said on a show.
Atiku and Tinubu, to be specific.
They will never be president.
Tinubu, even if they give him the ticket, is not going to win the general election.
Okay, we'll get to all those things. Go ahead.
And then Peter will be. I think Peter will be. Well, I'm not surprised. I know he's not going to get, but he's already in Labour Party. But there's this legal issue or whatever. I mean, the man who no get money to spend, I be will refuse to spend money. He can't go jump party where I get money pass. So how is he going to reach out to millions of Nigerians?
But people can donate. I mean, Nigerians can donate. Things can change. We could be at the beginning of a new kind of politics.
That's what we are praying for as a Nigerian, so that people will donate.
I mean, if you look at what's going on, you see a lot of people coming out, joining the party, Labour Party. Maybe something will change.
What is going to happen is what happened in 1860 election in the United States.
1860. I wasn't there then, but tell us what happened.
Exactly what is playing out there. In 1860, the Republican Party was just 4 years old. It was founded in 1856 in Wyoming. In Wyoming, right? That's where it was founded. And going to that election, it was 4 parties. Right? We have the Republican we have the Republican Party, we have the Union Party, we have the Democrat Southern and the Democrat Party. at the end of the day, Abraham Lincoln end up winning that, being a new party, 4 years, a new president. How did he came to life? Came to life via the debate he had with, if I remember the name, in Illinois Senate. He was trying to go for the Senate. Even though he didn't win the election, but that election set him on the presidency because he was very, very famous via the remark he made that house divided cannot stand alone. I think that was what that they take away from that debate. And that set him on. He came in as a new guy in a new party. And I studied the OT. He won with 39%. He won with about 180 delegates. But the general vote, as you normally do it here, he also won gallantly too. So it's possible. Now, how did this go into? Why am I comparing that time with what is happening in Nigeria now? One, the American public as at that time, they are very ignorant of, yeah, they are not very social conscious of what is happening. Exactly, you can relate that to Nigeria. Even though there was a slavery that actually, dominated the debate of that 1860, it's pretty much the same thing here. We have the southern state that say they want to go, and we have the northern state that say this and that. Back in that 1860, Abraham Lincoln won that election without a single vote from the southern states because they want to keep the slavery. That single state. Now, people should pay attention. Now, where does why I want Peter Obi to remain in the race, may they not come out for that party, he's going to play a very, very valuable factor in dividing the votes, in the southern votes. I am 100% sure, if not 100% of the Southeast people, 100% will vote for Peter Obi, wherever they are. And that will split, that will give, that vote is going to be affected the most is the PDP. So the way things are going, it's going to be 3 hours election. I've been saying it. PDP might not even qualify to go to the next round of the election based on Peter Obi factor. Because the vote, if APC decides to give their ticket to Amechi, the Cross River guy, that guy too, nobody's talking about him, but he's still there. That's what's his name? The small guy with his PP grammar. It's not my kind of person, but they might give him two. But now, if they give APC decides to give their ticket to the South, you know how it be already. PDP and PDP, APC, and the Labour Party will be. We share our votes, even though now that is where we not qualify people like PDP Atiku to the next round. Because they will be badly so damaged that their vote within that South will be small. And I think who is inconsequential in the North. We should all know that by now.
Okay, hold on. Let me welcome. You are going too far. Mazam, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Rudolph.
Yeah, it's nice to see you.
Yeah.
And Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
All right. So our topic is there any way that Peter Obi will defeat Atiku, defeat Bola Tinubu, and defeat Kwankwaso Ovie's candidate to become president come 2023? All right, Mazam, what do you think is going on?
Yeah, Peter Obi is based on his records. He has done well. We have said it times without number. But you see, there's one factor going against him. The Igbo factor. Particularly the Igbo factor. You know, the Northwest, the Yoruba or the Northwest and the North have one thing as if they have ganged up against the Igbo people not to become the Nigeria's president. So I don't know why we always have that problem. Another thing is that the Igbo does not vote. Look at that one particular thing. The Southwest, that's the Southeast does not vote. Because if you look at it, this person said one particular thing. Tambuwal said it in one of their meetings that do we really want someone who can win, or we want zoning? And that was the reason why that was what he gave as a reason for him to step down for Atiku, because he said it was actually the same thing they did in APC. They saw that Buhari was the only person for them at that time to win, with that popularity to win. So looking at the votes, the block of votes coming from the southeast, look at what Ebonyi gave. Look at what Enugu came out with in the last presidential election. In the southeast states, some states were winning, the governors were winning with 270 something votes, 230 something votes, 1,000 votes.
Yeah, but what if they feel that they don't have anybody, anything at stake in that particular election? Because if you go back to Obasanjo's time, Obasanjo did not win because of the Southwest. He didn't win. Most of the support he got came from the Southeast and South.
The Southeast always voluntarily and willingly give their vote to PDP all the time. It was recently in the APC in 2019 election that we saw that the Southeast divided itself, and some people are in APC and some people are in the PDP. So, and one thing they don't always do is to negotiate. Because you cannot just be giving people vote without negotiating what you want as a people. The politicians will always go for themselves and as an individual thing. Whatever they get is for themselves. But look at how the Southwest do their things. They will negotiate on behalf of the Yoruba people. Whichever way, whether APC or PDP, they come back and enjoy the benefit of democracy. And that's how it is.
Okay.
That's how it should be.
Okay, hold on. We will get into details. Let me bring in Paul. Paul, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
So, what is your take on what happened last week and prospects for Peter Obi?
Well, Doctor, if you want to watch what is going on completely, you see it from the wife of the Ondo State governor. Felt betrayed and so the way she felt betrayed, that is the exact game of politics, the type of politics we play. We play this politics. I remember the way Tinubu treats somebody like his first speaker, Joko Tolakpelumi, the way Tinubu treats Oloruni Bembamora, Moise Banire. They call it politics. Today, you can look at the Southwest. All the people that will say Tinubu raised, they are contesting president with him. So now we also say cooperation. But I believe this team politics is for everywhere. So if you want to say Tambowa supports Atiku, I don't want to believe that. But Tambowa felt negotiate for himself because of his age. He's 56. He has time. Atiku is about going. If he did this thing, they will forever remember him and pay him back sometime. But I don't think they represent the North, because Bukola Saraki is also a Northerner. Understand? He didn't comply to that. So we play dirty politics, but when it affects, we just juggle around things and then try to focus one or two things. What is his name? Wike complained the same complaint that they betrayed him and everybody. Even when he also betrayed the Southeast, because over a year ago, Wike said, "I'm not an Igbo man." But going to the primaries, Wike started dressing an Igbo man. They had to dress like a Port Harcourt man now, no more. Started dressing like an Igbo man. It is the game. You understand? And when you come to Kwankwaso,
other dressing like
I think
Hausa
Kwankwaso is doing very well, but I don't think this is the time. So we still need to wait another 1 week and see what APC will come out with. That's when we can really see the clear picture and where the country is going.
Okay. Now you mentioned Wike. Ovie, what happened to Wike?
Politics happened to Wike. they do a magic, but I think I respect Wike at this point. He has done it beat my own expectation of him. If you look at the history of that state, based on what they control, anybody that sits on that seat see a bigger picture. He believe he can take on Nigeria. What's his name? The first guy.
Peter Obi.
Peter Obi did the same thing, but just get luck. The person way they deal with now Banje, that was a OBJ had destroyed so many careers in that land that people are not talking about. If you cross his path, He said nobody here, when I mean nobody here, again, politically or even businesses, just go like that. And the man is still suffering from him. Amechi decided to take it different. I respect that too. We carry the money all the way and he's still going. Let's see where he's going to end up. Then Wike, with all his brashness or the lack of respect for the institution that I belong to, the traditional institution, get respect for us. With all that, he was able to muscle his way, to finish that strong. And I think at this point, even though he knows that he cannot become president, there's no way the man could become president anyway. But he was able to make a case for himself to be the vice president that at this point, I don't want to even be in the position of Atiku. Before now Okowa, I be the proof for ground. Since last year, I don't say now Okowa. That's Okowa in the Delta State. That's going to be running mates to Atiku for some, different reason. If you pay attention to that space very well, you understand the kind of dignitaries that were present at Olu of Warri coronation, the dignitaries that were at his mother's burial. Then you will get thinking that, okay, why? So since that time, I've been paying attention to that space. They also have the money that Wike has, but they are not making noise. So if they don't give him the vice presidential ticket, as the Okowas, I'll be shocked. But again, as I said, Wike has made a case for himself. Wike has he has decided to even shift a little bit away from the elite. He's making a case with the everyday Nigerian. They're speaking their language, and if you see, where after he came back home, they all welcome him. If you listen to his speech, he put everybody under the box. Say my people disappoint me. That's the southern. Who is it going after? People who could potentially stop him from being the vice to Atiku. Those are the people he's putting on the balance. They disappointed with the former hand. They disgraced me. I don't know why he's saying that, but again, he's making a case. But it's you expect it. One thing we, the Southerners, should take away from this is that where are those 17 clowns? Sorry, the 17 governors where they run mats for Asaba and Shena Lagos that year. Where are they? Everybody now is scheming. And they tell people then that these people are selling us. There's nowhere in the world you just come and say they must give you president. I don't care who you are. Nowhere. You have to go there and do the work. So they were lazy, but they put us in a stage whereby instead of us to be blaming them for not actually doing what they're supposed to do, now we're not focusing on not be our problem. And that narrative is not going to help any of them, not be us now, because this election of a team has nothing to do with ordinary Nigerians. It's an elite game. But they put themselves in a very tight corner that it's hard for them. So I respect Wike for fighting to that point, that's making it hard for the even PDP themselves to say, okay, this is my vice president. But I'll be shocked they didn't give it to Okowa. And maybe, and again, because I'll be shocked if APC didn't give presidency to Amechi, the ticket to Amechi. If they give it to Amechi, it will make sense if you give the presidential ticket to Wike. Maybe they struggle and have within the South. But again, I don't know how they want to go about it. As I say, yes, make it for himself. I respect that fire is going, but
Okay. Hold on. Let's hear Wike, because some people may not know him. Let's
Follow me now. Follow me. Let's go to the Eagle Square 28. As they give you the ballot pipe, don't look anywhere. Wike. I don't know whether you're someone saying. If someone touches you, you say, "Are you Wike?" Don't touch me if you're not Wike. If you say Wike. What did I say? Weekend. What did I say? Weekend. Did you hear me? Weekend. Say it again.
That's
I'd like to wish you the very best in your family.
No, I think you should congratulate me.
Not yet, because you have not been announced.
Nobody will win me in this election. Nobody will win me. They all know.
I wish you the very best.
No, congratulate me.
I can't do that.
As a candidate
I wish you the very best.
PDP.
Well, that's how we are thinking. Thank you so much.
It's a character, but you have to give it to him. It's a character, so I'm curious to see where it's going to go from here. But again, you have to give it to the sophisticated, not their political.
I'll come back to that, because we don't think that's what happened. Yeah, Mazam.
I think Wike's bet all along was to be the vice president. because I think a few years ago, there has been this speculation that Wike wants to be vice president. No one ever thought that Wike was going for the presidency. And at least I've lived in Rivers State, so the rumor has been going on for a long time. And then if you look at what actually transpired, I saw that PDP just conspired to push Peter Obi out of the way. That was what I saw. They found a way of telling him to find another place, because if you look at Wike, for the past 8 years, Wike has been on the forefront of opposition. He has been the one sponsoring so many party activities, and the PDP. He brought in Ali Sharif, if you remember. He spearheaded the bringing in of Ali Modu Sharif, who gave them a serious problem, and later he brought in Secondus from Rivers State, and now he championed the chairmanship of this present PDP chairman, the Ayu. So if you look at it, his effort in that party is significant, and you cannot compare him and Okoa. No one is hearing Okoa for the past 8 years. No one is giving is checkmating what APC is doing.
All right. So let's Mazam, hold on. Let's welcome.
So he has made his point. He has made his point to be the VP.
All right. Let's welcome new people that joined us. Janaba, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Doctor.
Blessing, welcome to the show. Okay, Blessing, you have to mute yourself. And Jude, welcome to the show. All right. All right. So we last time we met, we had no gotten the results of the PDP their convention. Now we know that Atiku won. Are you surprised, Janaba?
Why you forget quickly?
You predicted that will happen.
Of course.
Of course.
But I'm not surprised.
Without the support of the governor of Sokoto, and it was close, don't you think so?
It was close. Is it not the highest bidder? I go to auction. So it was close. Wicked try, but the Atiku have more structure for many years, so you cannot count that out. So yeah, so I was not surprised.
Okay.
And go ahead.
No, I wanted to go to Jude. I wanted to get an opinion of people who, I know, Jude, you are not happy with the political process. You think something else should be going on. But as we see, everything is moving, for those who are waiting for something else to be done, like, constitutional changes and everything. The political process is going on. Peter Obi has moved on. He's going to be one of the candidates. So the question we're asking today especially is, any chance for a third party, like someone like Peter Obi or Kwankwaso, who is a third party at this point, any chance of them making an impact, even defeating the big people in the two major political parties?
You're asking me?
Yeah, that's for you.
Oh, okay. Well, like you rightly pointed out, I'm not interested in the election that is going on, because I see it as a scam, as a way to divert well-meaning Nigerians that have seen the ongoing corruption and killing that has become almost part of that has become a culture in Nigeria. And then again, I mean, what is to me it's even it's even so sad to see that some of us come out here and we uh, we speak of this. We talk about this election, the way it's going, as if it's a normal thing. This is one of the if I may use this word, the crudest election ever in any history of mankind. The primary that is going on now. Even Jonathan cried out about it. This is the worst election, in fact, the most primitive, the high election riddled with corruption in high places. The money, what is it called? Wike, that useless man in Port Harcourt, the money he used there, he spent. Is it his own? Is it not money he has stolen from Port Harcourt? For the money he's supposed to be using in Port Harcourt? Atiku, is it not money he has stolen from Nigeria that he has using where they are bribing a candidate $35,000? What is it called? A
Delegate.
delegate. I mean, and when people talk about this thing as if these things are normal, that is even what drives me nuts. And most of us here that come out and talk about this election are in Western world. Where does this thing happen? Where does it happen? Instead of us to be crying out, to be speaking out against this evil that has brought Nigeria to its knees, we come here, we talk about it as if it's a normal thing and laugh. Man, it's annoying. Okay?
Thank you, Jude.
This guy is not.
Dude, that's why we have you here. You represent a voice of
this
why
guy-
Obie is celebrating that Kwankwaso is getting to the presidency. We have Jude representing.
Peter Obi, right? Peter Obi, we talk about Peter Obi. If not that I have already know where this charade is going to end, by now I should have been campaigning actively for Peter Obi. I should have been contributing, not just campaigning, even financially to his campaign. His campaign is going to go a long way.
Don't give up yet. Don't give up.
His campaign is going to go a long way, but I can't involve in a fruitless venture. Peter Obi is not going to win, but I have already said two things is going to happen with Peter Obi, and then I'm telling I'm sure in every forum I've appeared, I've always encouraged their followers to brace up for two things: flight or fight. Flight in the sense that by the time Peter Obi begins, by the time all this primary is gone, and they now start campaigning for the main presidential election going all over Nigeria, Peter Obi is going to gather so much momentum that the establishment will feel so threatened and they will do everything to squash it. And that is what is going to happen. Okay? And when it does happen, it is either the people, the followers who are with all that enthusiasm and everything will either be squashed or they will resist or they will rebel. Who knows? Maybe something good might come out of it. Who knows? Maybe that will trigger the revolution that we sincerely and urgently desire in Nigeria, to flush out all these evil human beings in political positions and both past and present, and flush them out of Nigeria, and then divide Nigeria and everybody go their way, and we start building from our different respective countries or break-off countries. Who knows? I'm just praying.
All right. Thank you, Jude. Thank you so much. Blessing, welcome to the show.
Good evening, everyone.
Yeah, Blessing is joining us from Nigeria. So let's hear from Blessing. So what's going on in terms of how are people in Nigeria taking all this?
Well, I kind of understand Mr. Jude. I understand his sentiments. There are some people that feel the same way he does feel right here. But I do not totally agree with him. I understand his sentiments, but I do not agree. For a lot of people, especially young people that I've met and interacted with, this 2023 election is not going to be business as usual. Personally, I know quite a number of young people who, for the first time in their lives, have gotten a PVC, have registered and gotten a PVC. So while we are hoping that it doesn't overwhelm us, we're also hoping that the strides that were made from NSAS, because I think there's a new wave. There's a new air since NSAS. You have to. You have to. I'm sorry to say this, but you have to be here to feel it. A lot of young people discovered the strength they had during that period. It was like an awakening for a lot of young people who have never hitherto thought of Nigeria in that light. As in, we've for a lot of young people, Nigeria, it's a gun, it's a dead issue. What they are waiting for now is for this whole thing to be over. But after NSAS, there was a reawakening of some sort, of a feeling of nationhood and what the youth could do. And that feeling is carrying over to this election. People are going out of their way to actually make sure that this is not business as usual. And like Mr. Jude said, I personally would love to see an Obi presidency, but the odds are highly stacked against him.
All right.
The odds against him are so high.
All right.
That it will take a miracle.
Thank you, Blessing. Bolaji, welcome to the show.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Yeah, Bolaji, it's good you are coming in. I want you to look at this story I just saw a few minutes ago that Tinubu's people are protesting that they don't want consensus candidates for APC, that they will prefer that people vote. What does that say?
I don't think that will surprise anybody. If you look at most other candidates, after the screening, they all said they respect the party supremacy, that they are ready for whatever candidate the party choose. That means concession. Obviously, Tinubu is a leading candidate. I think right now, I believe most people have seen it, that if they go for primaries, there's a very high chance of him winning the primaries. But if president is allowed to choose somebody, very likely it's not going to be Tinubu. His chance of winning the primary may be above 70%. Chance of being selected by Buhari, less than 40%. So definitely he has to go for that. And you can see the supporters around him when he went for screening 2 days ago. I'm not surprised by that. Well, I don't think he will settle for that one. And it's going to be a serious fight. So
what about his performance? There was a video of him speaking. Did you watch that video and did you understand what he was saying?
To an extent, I understand what he was saying. He was talking about the real estate market, how it can affect the economy in the country. But he has a problem that when he's trying to say something, sometimes kind of break for a very long time, more than what you expect. Like maybe he's running out of his thoughts or something. But I don't know whether that's a sign of a weakness or a sign of him having a deep thinking about what he wants to say.
I think we should say what it is. The man is going. He's senile. He's senile. Let's just call it what it is.
Okay, Jude, what is it?
I just want to be fair on him. And if I'm a doctor, I really say, if I may comment on Wiki as well, he actually performed better than I expect him to do. And if I have to say this one, if I use my own statistic and compliance knowledge, he lost the election, I think, just by about 70 votes, not up to 100, contrary to what other people would say. Because if you run an election, if the margin of the winner and the runner-up is 4, definitely people that determine that who wins the election are just 2 people. Because take 70 from Atiku and you give it to what's it called? Wiki will have won the election. So I think him not forming good alliance with Saraki made him lose the election, and some other people that came from the south.
Okay, all right. So Jude, you wanted to say something?
No, I want to say Tinubu is sick. So he's suffering from perhaps Alzheimer or something. The guy is going to his grave. I don't know why they are pushing him. One day he's going to slum and die. The people that are pushing him for their selfish interests, they know that this man is sick. He's supposed to be maybe in the nursing home somewhere being taken care of. A man that uses diapers. You know, you look at it, he can't even hold a bottle of water. He's
The
struggling to
reason
hold
why
that's the kind of
I'm not trying to defend him, but one point there, if you remember everything that you've said so far, people said it about Buhari, and Buhari is not dead by now.
He's
I
not
just
really
want
dead,
like a
my
personal,
leader.
like just
was
wanted to
stronger.
people.
He's
Stronger
just a
coming in as the
he's
president
just a
than this guy.
monumental mistake.
Buhari cannot make enough. Like I've not seen Buhari making speech of up to 10 minutes or expressing himself, his thoughts up to 10 minutes since I
Okay,
was
but
born
Buhari
without
on is
reading
different.
from a paper.
Okay, Buhari on is different. Buhari was stronger coming in as a president than this guy. Okay, and moreover, Buhari didn't loot as much as Tinubu has stolen. Okay, Tinubu is a thief and a convicted drug addict.
Okay, hold on.
Doctor,
Yeah, hold on. Yeah, Jonaba. I'm surprised nobody's talking about the vice president anymore. Is he not still running? What's going on? Do you know Paul?
He's still running.
Yeah,
He's getting
doctor, you know, it's always rare for people to criticize Jehovah Witness when you want to criticize Christianity. You just leave them that Angelic Jehovah, like Yoruba people talk. You just leave them alone. That their own is different. You understand? So like when we want to call fake pastor, fake this, fake that, you hardly say anything about Jehovah Witness. Not that you support them, but you just leave them because they are different species. You know,
right.
so that's how it is. But
Uh,
doctor, when it
doctor,
comes to Tinubu that we know, you understand, he is the talking time. This is a man who always comes to the media all the time. For Tinubu to start using the Buhari method, running away from the media, you understand, we all know that he's having Parkinson's disease. But I guess to some extent, because sometimes some of us don't really understand stroke. What we understand in that part of the world, when people have stroke, we only see them that one side of them is actually not working, they don't talk. But sometimes we don't understand that people might have minor stroke that you can move, but it's already there in your brain. You understand? I think health-wise, he's struggling with his health. You understand? But he's just a fighter. He just don't want to give up and the like. So health-wise, we really, really challenge him. He's running away from the media. You give it or you take it. We all know these things. You know. Then when you talk about Wike, with the numbers of votes that Wike gets and everything, I guess to some extent Wike is a bully. Sometimes some people even get scared with the money that you give to them. That if you don't vote me, I go collect my money back. So, but I can equally tell you that another way around, this may just be the end of Wike politics. For him to get these numbers of votes, I believe that privilege will not come twice again because they've already seen his strength and they will do everything possible for him not to even get far before they crush him down.
Okay. Ovie, explain
about
to explain to us how your candidate, Kwankwa, so the path that he could take to the presidency. He just said yesterday that he was thinking of taking Peter Obi as his vice president, and now he has no option than to find somebody else. What part does that man has in terms of getting to the presidency?
can I just touch on the Wiki losing before I go there? If you don't
Okay,
mind.
go ahead.
I think if there's anything again, the Southerners have to learn from here. It's the sophistication of the Northern elite. Now everybody say, Tambawa, if Tambawa no the camp, Wiki would have won. As if it just happened. No, it doesn't happen like that. It's a game plan. If you look back, not far this about a couple of weeks back when the northern elite, the northern leaders decided to try to form a consensus between Tambawa, Saraki, and Atiku and the rest. Two people did not show up on that. The Atiku himself and Tambawa. That was when this discussion started. They actually wanted Tambawa and Bala Mohammed to actually step down. That's what the concern is about. Bala Mohammed refused. So Tambawa just stepped it down. It's not an act of, it's not buying whatever. No, that is a larger, political calculation. And again, that one thing we need to take away from that point again is that nobody just wake up from bedroom say, I want to become president, and you become president. It doesn't work. It has to be collective effort. This word cabal that you are hearing, it's not out of the blue. There's a reason why they use that word. Now people, they come together as a common. Something must happen. You go, then they go after him. And that's exactly what the Northerners are doing. You said that you read from here that Tinubu people are saying they must go for the election. And the same thing will happen. Why do you think the Senate president is there? He pick up his form at the dime minute. It's for shenanigans like this. Let's go to the war front and see if you're gonna win. I mean, this thing is an elite game. There's nothing me and you can do. But if you look at the way the country is set up, I keep using America as an example. Go and read the Civil War. That book will tell you everything you need to know about what is happening today. You know, people that went and borrowed the political process come here, they know what they are doing. Go and read the politics industry. That is even written recently. It will tell you everything that you need to know how this game works. So if the Tinubu can pull off the same thing, that's exactly what you are going to see. They could just add themselves up and they will get the numbers they want. You say they know they call Oshibanjo name. What is the difference between Oshibanjo and Tinubu? If there's anybody that knows Tinubu more than his wife, is Oshibanjo. So what, I don't understand. He is being pushed and he's working, right? So
okay.
Now about Konkoso, how is he going to arrive at that victory? You are saying it's still based on the man you call Peter Obi, who say, oh, if you know to say no, they can forgive a vice presidency. That is still going to be the factor. That guy is going to pull up the southern vote that PDP no go fit run away victoriously, APC no go fit run away victoriously. That is the game you want to play. Now, there's a court case against him. They don't want to give him the seat. But if at this point, I am advising APP, that's where you need to put your money. Make sure you stay on that ticket. They don't want to give him all the money you need to spend to make sure you because that is the only way the likes of Konkoso will come. As I said, it's going to be a second round election. Nobody is going to come out through clear victory with what percentage they divide the country for. You have to win before you become the president. Nobody's going to come out a clear winner based on Peter Obi factor. It's going to be 4 us going into the game: NNPP, APC, PDP, and the Labour Party. So by the time nobody come out as a clear winner, there's going to be a runoff election. This might sound very out of the because we never reached there, but now process again. Go back to American history. That same thing. So he's going to go to second round of election, and it's going to be between because PDP no go get enough number to go to the second round. It's now going to be between NNPP and APC, between the north and the south. We know the
Bush and Agor.
Bush and Agor. And based on what Jude is saying, that that fight or flight, when I want to fight civil war, bring it on. The union, I use the word union, those that are on the Nigerian side are more. But maybe we need the civil war to set things apart because the American Civil War brought state autonomy. That's where they fight for every state must have individual right, which is good. The slave, you won't keep slave, keep them and see how long you can keep them. So, but I don't think that civil war will come now because the Southern never get that oneness. And that is why they know they take us play because we never get oneness. We don't have one consensus candidate, even though they came out with their own chairs. The presidency must come here. So waiting come make una no fit stay together and say, okay, this is we are going to go this way, we are going to go. But if we reach the 10 minutes, this is the man we want to go. Even the small southeast zone can't even agree on one consensus candidate. So it's a game that's why I asked if Samson, is it Samson Itoro that you brought on? Samson Itoro and Aisha story. I deliberately asked them that question. Do you think an average Nigerian understand the kind of politics that is at play here? It has nothing to do with me and you. This kind of politics for elite. So there's no how we cry. I understand. I feel Jude pain. You know what he's saying. But guess what? People like me, when I hear, they laugh because I'm a student.
Okay, when you keep saying it has nothing to do with us, where do the numbers come from?
That number na shenanigan. Na president not elect.
You did say that it's going to be a four-way split.
Yeah.
And it takes number for it to happen that way. So if we're not involved in the process, where do the numbers come from? If it is just the elite, where are the numbers coming from?
You are saying something that you've never seen what is going on. But new people are getting voter registration card. Good. The year we will not decide say we not go vote. Guess what? We all share the vote 4 ways.
Okay. All right.
They are always ahead of us. They are ahead. It's their game. We not just a follow.
Okay. Hold on, Obi.
Can
Okay.
I say something?
Jude. Okay. I have 2 people, but just 30 seconds. I want to introduce.
Okay. Let me just say something briefly.
Okay.
You know INEC, right?
Yeah.
INEC is the so-called presidency of Buhari or APC. They determine who they will give voters card, and they determine who they don't. They determine how many of those voters will be going to be counted, and they determine those that is not going to be counted. They determine how many voters papers or voter whatever it is they are going to use, the instrument they are going to use that day. They determine how much should be brought to each polling booth and how much should not. They determine those that are going to be used back doors, which you and I will not be privy to or will not even know what is going on. At the end of the day, they push them in as a vote. They push them in as the vote that is being credited to a particular candidate from the north. So all these things, why you see Peter Obi, if election were to be held today, a credible election, Peter Obi will win anybody. Okay, with what is going on. But Nigeria is not set up like that. The situation, the election is already rigged. Okay. There's nothing anybody can do.
Okay, Jude, hold on. Okay, hold on, everybody.
If I may say something, Doctor.
Okay.
I'm sorry to say my I quite like Peter Obi. I want him to be one of those people that can win the election, like most likely candidate. If he emerges, he's going to make. We are likely going to have a better Nigeria. But I beg to disagree that if you run credible election in Nigeria today, Peter Obi cannot win national election. He can win the South, but he cannot win the North. So let's be sincere with ourselves. However, he has enough time to campaign, to form alliance, to get him good number of votes from the North. But as we say right now, I don't think Peter Obi can win the North.
Okay,
thank you. Fair and credible election.
Thank you, Balaji. Abi, welcome to the show. I can't hear you. Can you unmute yourself, Abi? Okay, good.
Yeah, thanks, Dr. Damages. I've been a long follower of yours. And I've always watched this. I know OVA like the back of my hand. Well, I've met OVA in another show, the one UK man like that. I like Paul a lot. I like everybody here. You are the regulars. My wife likes Paul a lot. So it's my pleasure to be here. I don't know if I should contribute as yet. I align so much with Jude, what he was saying. I'm very aligned with Omoyele Shore and the Take It Back movement. I'm not a member of AAC, but I like his activism and I've been following for a long time. Nigeria, for me, it's a bag of problem. And someone like you, Dr. Damages, you've enumerated the problems of Nigeria over the years with Sarah reporters watching Dr. Damages and all that. Is still the same. And why I align with Jude, some of the things Jude said, is that we are all here. I see Ovi mostly up. He knows the template. I mean, elite game, but the same elite, they don't understand it. Is what is his name? We cannot the same elite eating in the same pot. Yeah? How did he not understand it? And then this idea we are bandying about that as if I grew up in the North, as if North are perfect and all that. The fundamental thing is one of the things that North has that we don't have in the South, and I don't want us to have it, is that there's this, slave master followership, which is enshrined in their culture. Okay, in the North, a typical northern, I don't want to mention any tribe. All right. Where I grew up, they are happy if somebody is rich. It's different in some part of the North. We have some part of the North that they're not really Hausa like the Adamawa, Taraba, all this side. They are not exactly the same at the core north, and their culture is different. Typically in the core north, up there, if one man is rich, the other ones are happy to be poor, and they're happy to march to his house and go and eat, and they say Allah Yabashi, so that he will give them. Right? We don't have that. We are not created like that. And that is not a weakness on the south side. We are talking about the north, the south, we don't bring one consensus. Why is there no one consensus? Is Saraki not also part of the north? Kwakwaso himself is he not part of the north? All right? And he just Kwakwaso that stepped down for Atiku, and then we say, oh, you know, I don't buy that. The fundamental thing is that I know is that Nigeria has a deep problem. Even if Peter Obi comes in no go succeed.
That's true.
I like Peter Obi.
That's true.
Right? In fact, Peter Obi is the only person that has made me to doubt my core lover, Omoyele Sowore, because I know that the party is still very infant for Omoyele Sowore. He's a good man. He has the heart. He will come and tear Nigeria apart, and he turn it to a construction zone, as he said. None of these people are better than Omoyele Sowore. You don't need to be an astronaut to rule Nigeria. I will rule Nigeria very well. All right? You need the zeal, you need the heart. But there's no structure. The Nigeria fundamentally has a problem, and that's what Jude is saying. Nigeria has a problem. We should talk about this problem. We can dance around this thing, and the election will come and go, and Atiku or Bajo or what's his name, Amechi, whatever calculation, elite game. And I don't like we comparing ourselves with America. It happened in America. When it was happening in America, America was making roads. In the early 60s, they were constructing roads.
You are talking no, not in the 60s. America started 18. Go back to then. Started 17.
Thank you, Ovi.
That's where
I like your chiming in, because you can see that I'm not really attacking you, but I'm just saying that.
I see
yeah, don't be tempted.
No.
And then if America has made mistakes, I mean, I'm a cybersecurity expert. I learn from other people. That's why you read books, right?
Yes.
You read books. I have tons of books. When I read books, I know the mistake that the other people do. I don't have to do it. All right. So anyway, let me keep further.
Okay. Thank you.
Suggestion, Ebi. I'm not talking. I don't think we are at that stage of talking of performance yet. But I will go do better. Right? As I said, how do you win before you perform? That is the most important thing. That's why I'm giving the North their credit. Win first. If you don't perform, that's a different game. If you perform, but win fair. How do you win? It takes people to win, not just one person.
Like so, how Buhari won. It doesn't matter that he hasn't performed in the last 8 years, Abi.
Okay, hold on. Jude, I'll come to you, but I want to introduce Forefathers. He's been here quietly. So, Forefathers, welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, and greetings to members on the panel.
Thank you.
Last this in the primaries obviously was quite disappointing to me, because I'm a fan of Wike. I think that Nigeria would have benefited from having someone like that as a leader. But clearly, some segments of the country don't like strong leaders, especially from the south.
Wow.
I think the thing is, we have to understand where, if you don't understand the north, you're not going to be able to cater to whatever they want. And I think that's where most of the southern leaders fail. When they approach the north, they need to empathize, really understand where their fears lie. Because the north fear, they have a lot of fear of the south. The south is more developed than they are. The south is more educated than they are. So they feel like, what else have they got? The resources are in the south, most of it. So this is why they didn't go for the independence in the first place when we were supposed to have it before 1966. That fear remained until the Tafawa Balewa was killed and triggered the Second World War. The fear still remains. One of the reasons why they gave for cancelling the June 12th election was for the same fear again. They are still not even as developed till today as the South. So they fear the South that if they allow a strong leader from the South to take over, they are digging their own grave. And that is why it's easy for any northern leader to convince the others to fall in line. They don't have much else to go on. The only way you can get around that is to assuage that fear.
Obasanjo was from the north, right?
Doctor.
No, they didn't see. Obasanjo was not elected the first time. See, you have to understand, Obasanjo was not elected the first time. He came in as a leader, and he has been tried and tested, so they didn't have him to fear.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Hold on. Thank you for that. Janaba, what do you have to say?
Let us be clear about this issue of the northern and the politics of Nigeria. My brother that support Wike, I'm glad that Wike lost. I'm so happy. I'm very glad Wike lost. That is the most important thing that I can tell you. And if he come again, I want him to lose. Wike is a bully. We don't need a bully. We need a leader.
Come
and
on,
you don't
man.
lead. We don't just lead.
That's mean. We need him.
This is the. Let me tell you. You understand what you are coming from. You're entitled to your own right. I'm just telling my own word. Is to have your say. I'm glad you lost, and you can remove your glasses and look at me very well. When they come again, they will still lose. And another person, I'm telling you that Wike is not among the elite. Whether I'm not talking about because he's a governor in from Port Harcourt, it doesn't mean that he reached the elite we are talking about. When we talk about Kaba, even Buhari himself is not a Kaba. So I don't understand what they talk about Kaba and the elite who make a choice of Nigeria and this thing. Because Buhari is a president, it does not make him a Kaba. Tinubu is not even a Kaba. It's a lie, it's a boro. But Kaba are the people. Kaba are the people. Let's talk about Nigerian politics. Kaba are the people. The only thing I can give to this guy is about the fear. But I don't think it's a fear that the Northerners don't want the South to win or not to win. I think it's about power is addictive, and I'm telling you, if you are the president today, you would like to be there. So that is it about power. But the issue of my brother Jude is that I understand your fear. I'm not going to come here after God deliver me, and then I come and be having high blood pressure. And no, I'm not going to laugh at the show because he said that we are talking about Nigeria like it's not like this.
Just want everybody to be serious and.
The game way past my pay grade. You want me to get it for?
Yeah, Peter Obi that you are voting or you are supporting. Peter Obi, when he stated today, I told you guys on this program, let Jesus Christ come to my flesh and become Nigerian president. It's still going to be the same problem. The only problem we are having is not the problem. Eh? What do you say, Obi?
No, Janaba, go ahead. Leave us here.
Okay. All right. So the only thing that we're all going to be speaking to is that how the Nigerian work for all of us. It's whether it's a Southerner or a Westerner or Tinubu on life support come to the office. Yar'Adua was not good in health-wise when he became a president. But if you go, Yar'Adua was a good leader. He trying to the data conflict. Niger Delta conflict. He approached it with the heart of a human being. So all of these things we are talking that we are all making sense in our own way how Nigerian can move forward. But the issue of whether it's P2B, me too, I'm even so glad P2B lose. P2B is not a Kaba. I'm so glad.
Okay, Janaba,
lose and lose.
Janaba, hold on, okay? Let me,
to lose.
Hold on, Jude. Let me get Jude to speak. Then I will introduce Alexi Joho. Go ahead.
Yes. For this 2023 election, right? The reason why some of us are not, we refuse to participate and would rather wish it doesn't hold is this. No matter who emerges, for instance, like Peter Obi and Showore, these are the two candidates I personally, if I have that mind to say, okay, you know what, for the benefit of that, let's give Nigeria a chance. to see if he's going to amend his ways, I would have, been campaigning and assisting in whatever little way I can on my own side. But you can't build a house on a rubble and expect it to stand. It's not possible. Nigeria foundation is already faulty. Our constitution we are operating on is the worst constitution ever in the history of mankind. It's not going to work. That is why, like my brother John Abba pointed out, even if you bring our Lord Jesus Christ to be president of Nigeria, trust me, they will fight. They are going to do everything. The constitution and the people is going to work with will do everything to make sure it falls. Okay, so let's assume we'll say, okay, someone like me is okay, instead of breaking up Nigeria, let us find a way of Nigeria moving forward. Nigeria cannot move forward if we don't have a holistic constitution that is produced by the Nigerian people. The constitution we are running now is not produced by you and I. We never had any input. Though it say we the Nigeria who? It's only a few people that sat together, the military juntas under the leadership of Abdulsalami Abubakar, that sat together and concocted that nonsense and gave it to us as a constitution, and we are running upon it. Okay? And then there's no president, nobody except Omoyele Sowore, that is the person I actually believe. I didn't even believe Peter Obi can do it. Except somebody like Omoyele Sowore that will take up presidency tomorrow and say, you know what, Nigeria, we need to draft a new constitution, a holistic constitution that would give us the direction on which Nigeria is going to move. Other than that, Nigeria is not going anywhere.
All right, Jude, thank you.
Anybody.
Thank
Okay?
you, Jude. Thank you. Alex Kaba, welcome to the show.
Welcome to Dr.
Oh, I said Alex Kaba. No, hold on, everybody, hold on. Alex Njoko, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah. Alex, you are joining us from North Carolina, is it?
Yes.
Okay. So we're talking about Peter Obi and the primaries that took place and the one to take place next week. What is your take on the political situation so far?
A lot of people have made points speaking truth to the power. We as a people, Nigerians, we have come a long way to form a kind of mindset that kind of directs the things we say about the country and the things that we do concerning the country. Nigeria is like an elephant, an old adage of blind men going to see the elephant. Some would touch it and say it's a wall. Another will touch it and say, oh, it's like a snake. Another one touches one of the legs, says it's like a pillar and all that. One thing we have to be is to be sincere to ourselves. There's lack in sincerity about how we can move on as Nigerians. Everybody is praising Peter Obi now. Yes, if you make Peter Obi to go out there and be voted for, some of the people who tell you that he will not win will not vote for him. Not because they know he will not win, but because they don't want him to be the president for reasons that is embedded inside them. As much as it can be said so loudly, Peter, who will vote Peter Obi now? Not even those in the north who will vote for Atiku will vote Peter Obi. They know he is better than Atiku, but when it comes to vote, they will not vote for him. So insincerity is permeating many of our thoughts and hearts. I mean, when Jude speaks, he speaks my mind to the very last point of the points he has been making today. I've been watching. And everyone that comes in also makes points to how he's made good points and they feel the same way. But when push comes to shove, Nigerians will go back to their little shells and do their thing. And Peter Obi not winning will come out from that. Otherwise, if we want Nigeria to move forward, Peter Obi should be the one everyone should go with. Even those people in PDP, They should all move with him to the new place that he has been given that ticket. Many of them will say what we are saying here now, but see where they are standing. They want to eat when Atiku gets there. So for me, Nigeria remains the experiment that has run amok and has become petrified that you can't do anything anymore with it. Let us come together, decide how we are going to live as a people very amicably. I mean, the fear we said about the North, every group has fear. Oh, if we go on our own, I wouldn't be getting this that I'm getting now, or what I'm going to be getting will be less, and so on. We don't want to face the truth about how to solve this problem. Nigeria cannot go anywhere. I can bet you, if it's possible to bet all of you that what we are doing now will not solve, I mean, whoever is going to come in now as president of Nigeria will not solve our problems. I'll be a rich man tomorrow if you all can gather the money. So, I mean, let's face the reality and be truthful to ourselves. Okay. We will come to the point where we will decide how best to move ourselves.
Thank you, Alex Njoko. Thank you so much. Ovia, you see how he spoke and without laughing. This is a serious matter, and I hope you take this in seriously. All right.
I'm sorry if I'm laughing. I'm not laughing. Because let me say I've worked so hard to devote myself from approaching politics with emotion. Nothing that is happening now that has not happened before. Nothing. When I keep referring to America, please go back. America no start 19 or 16, 1766. When they did fight for civil rights, 90s, after about 100 and something years. I'm not saying we must follow this. But we
is that how long you want to stay? Is that how long you want to stay?
Exactly. I am not saying. Let me finish my point. I'm not saying we should. I am not saying we should go. We are going
with
to
all the computers and all the technology in the world today. You want us to start waiting like America did for 470 years?
That's not what I'm saying.
But then,
go to Rwanda.
Let me land my point, please. The length, how long we are going to continue like it depends on me and it depends on us. The Americans of it is they are worse than us. When Abraham Lincoln win election, from to go from Philadelphia to Washington DC, he has to disguise, follow train. Why? Because they want lynch him. American citizens, they were more now. There's just a lack of consciousness about what we are practicing. It takes Americans that long for them to actually understand, the American citizens now, to grab what is going on and find a way to navigate themselves that. And that's what brought about civil rights. 60, I'm not in 1960s here. So it depends on how much are we ready to invest? Not just money. Let me finish. Not just money, time, resource, everything. How much are we ready to get involved? Because if we don't get involved, we complain.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Blessing.
Okay, one of the strongest points you've made from the beginning of this show is about how this is a game and how it is a game of elites. But here you are talking about America and the American people. It is no longer a game of elites when it comes to America. But when you bring it down to Nigeria, you keep emphasizing how it is just the elites that know what they are doing.
Okay, let me.
How they get here? They had their people involved in the process.
No, the people decided to get educated, educate themselves, and get involved.
Everybody hold on. Okay? I call you and then you speak. Otherwise, I have to mute everybody. Please, Blessing, finish up your thought.
Okay, Ovia was saying everybody here has heard Ovia say severally that politics, as it is played in Nigeria, is just for the elites. That we, the commoners, we have no part in it. We have absolutely no part in it. That they decide what they want, put who they want there, and it happens the way they want it. Fine and good. Same Ovia takes us back to America, to prehistoric times, where the same people he's comparing us to had to fight tooth and nail through a civil war to get things done. And I'm asking, where is the elite there? Is it not just the elite? Is it no longer a game for the Americans? Or for the Americans, it became democracy and it became politics. But for us, it is a game. I'm trying to reconcile what you are saying here, and it is not connecting. That is just it.
Okay, thank you, Blessing. Jude, go ahead. Obi, don't respond yet.
Quickly, let me say this. When America was forging their own democracy, why it is totally different from what Nigerian is doing now is that American democracy, even if at that time they were still building the country, a president that comes up will still move the country forward. He wasn't looting all the resources of America. They weren't appointing their family members as leaders when they know they are not effective. They weren't appointing their wife as minister of happiness. When no governor was appointing the wife as minister of happiness, they weren't looting the resources of America. They were still doing something, working, building the country. That is totally different from Nigeria. Wike now, for instance, Wike, how can a fraudulent, a thief like Wike expect to come to Nigeria, become a president, and will be able to move Nigeria forward when he knows that he became a president by looting silly the resources of Port Harcourt? All those money he used in bribing. What is it called? The man that won the ticket. What is it that claimed the ticket of PDP? That man who gave out $35,000 or so to a candidate. How is that fraudulent man going to become a president when he becomes a president? How is that fraudulent man going to be able to, to begin to vet all the corrupt practices in Nigeria? Because without fighting corruption, let's assume many of these presidents win. Without fighting corruption, not just fighting it from where you start, but requiring every leader that have led Nigeria to account for all the resources that were at their disposal when they were at various positions, including local government chairman and councillors. Without anybody doing that, there is no thing you can do to tell me that you are going to move Nigeria forward, because you are also corrupt. And why they can't do that is because themselves, their hands are not clean. Because they say he that is coming to the house of an equity must have a clean hand. They are all corrupt. They come to protect themselves. That is why Nigeria cannot move forward the way it is.
Jude, thank you so much. Just for a reminder, today we had two topics planned to talk to, and we wanted to give this politics an hour. We've done an hour, 30 minutes. I will just go to the people that are yet to speak and give them each 30 seconds or 1 minute, and then we can go back to the second topic of the day. Abi, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, thank you. Sorry, I'm getting used to your to your application. I was trying to unmute on the screen. Okay. You see, yeah. Again, I just want to align with Jude as well, Alexi. We are all aligning perfectly, and I think even Ovie and Co. Align. We all know that there's a problem. I think Ovie is being scientific. He's speaking on the platform that exists right now and the logic of winning, irrespective of the root cause. But that's by the way. I just want to also hammer on why Nigeria will not work based on the system. Even Mr. Peter, I don't want to bust bubble right now. I want to see. I know he did well. He left 100 billion or something in Anambra. I want to ask one question. If I see him, I like him. I've told everyone. How much of his security votes did he accounted for? How many governors in Nigeria account for security votes? Now, they allow them by constitution. That is, by the way, we are talking at the federal level. Let's come to the state level. The governors. We are all talking Nigeria with president. The governors are so corrupt, and the constitution of each of the state or whatever, I don't know where that is coming from, or the law, allow them to get away with things. They can seize. I heard the other day, Fayemi, he called a council chairman of a local government to take, I think he said it's 100 million, but he gave the guy 17 and asked him to sign 100. Some days later, he was donating something to some people somewhere, preparing for this presidential whatever. Impunity everywhere, and the law is not working. Our justice system is totally not working. You know, so there are, I can go on. I have so many lists there, but you gave me 30 seconds. I don't want you to boot me out. The other thing I want to say is, on an ideal, let's say Nigeria constitution is good, I wish to see a presidency of Peter Obi, and then Omoyere Sowore as the head of anti-corruption, whatever, reform EFCC, and Femi Falana as the Chief Justice to reform, you know, well, that's an ideal, but we know say it not gonna happen.
No go happen.
All right, thank you, forefathers.
Yeah, thanks for yeah, I think I agree more with Ovie. I think people are misunderstanding him a little bit because his way of looking at it is looking at it as a system and a process that nations go through. And I believe that we don't have to wait 100 or something years as happened before because things are moving a lot faster these days. And if we want to deal with this matter, we have to really know what the real threat is. And I think our people, we've lost an idea of what a true threat assessment is. And we really need to get that back. Our country, the way it is being run right now, everybody seems to think that, you know, there's no hope. Yes, there is hope, all right. The UK is running under a system that doesn't even have a proper constitution. They don't even have a written constitution, for crying out loud. And they run circles around the whole globe. It tells you something about the system. When we see corruption, it's just a symptom. It's not the reason why things are happening. I've said it before. Our people are stressed. There are reasons why we are stressed. We think we are playing a game. You know, we are playing checkers. While other people are playing 3D chess. That's what is happening here. The people that are being selected to rule the country, they are being selected, chosen for specific reasons, not for our own purposes. We should understand that, and we shouldn't get too frustrated with ourselves. We have to understand what is happening and frustrate those forces that are doing these things with every breath, you know, we take. Because, like I said, I use that name for that for a reason. There are people that came to this continent and did a lot of damage to our people. And we are still suffering the consequences today. If we keep turning on our own every day, we don't empathize with each other. Like Alexis said, we don't talk honestly to each other. We'll be caught for a very, very long time. It's going to be a big problem. Because if we don't see our brothers and recognize our brothers, we are in trouble here. They are hyenas circling. So people are talking about civil war. The only thing our forefathers handed to us is they kept the roof up. And we have to build on it. And if we don't build on it and we start tearing each other down, the wolves will inherit everything. And then we'll be in for real trouble. If we think what we've had now is bad, ask what happened to the ones that went through the ships and colonization and all the wars that happened, things will get even far worse. And we see, let me explain something here. Just last week, the Pakistani president came online and said, you know what? They removed me from office because I wouldn't take sides with the war about the war in Iraq. That's in Ukraine. Something they accorded India. They couldn't accord it to him. And they literally threatened him to his face when they were taking minutes. They didn't even care about hiding it anymore. And they removed him from office. You were talking about they were giving people $1 million all over the place. Now you see the dangers when G20 countries can give themselves $20 trillion in loans when Africans don't have anything. That is real money. It's not monopoly money. It's money they can use to buy your politicians and sell you out easy and get their way with you. And if we don't understand this greater threat, we are just going to be hitting each other and we don't know where the trouble is coming from. We'll never get anywhere. That is what is happening to us here. And if, like now, they are passing a law. Just yesterday, I just heard that they passed a law in the US to punish African countries that don't take sides in a war that is not ours. And I hear some African politicians, I think Ayade was saying it the other day, we have to stop being non-aligned. We have to pick sides. The reason why they are saying these things, they want to get the money so that they become president and sell their country away. We have to watch out for these people and look at how we are going to circumvent them. Because if, like I said, if the people's mind change, we are going to be able to circumvent them. We will frustrate all their efforts. Nobody is going to come and tell an Igbo man today, you know what, you're going to turn to a Muslim. And neither would you go to the north and tell them you're going to turn to a Christian. You know why? Because their mind is already locked. If our people's mind change and gets locked and know who the true enemies are, we isolate them. Because no matter how we hate each other, as much as we hate each other, we have a greater enemy out there that are waiting for us to fail. See, they literally, AFRICOM has it on their website. I can give you the link right now. They are bragging how easy it is to control Africa. With few, you know the terms they use? With few soldiers and a little bit of money, they can get outsized returns. They spend 0.3% of their defense on controlling Africa. They don't even give us the courtesy of spending good money. And we are 1 billion people. We are men in this world, and we are just easily controlled. And this is that's the reason why I'm coming here like this, because we really need to understand the real threats. That guy in the north, I think he's in the north, he's not the one that enslaved us. He's not the one that gave themselves 20 trillion. He doesn't have 20 trillion. He's afraid. They are all brainwashed, just like we are all brainwashed against them. Our frustrations, we take it out on them because we are seeing them face to face. We don't really see the enemy because they are hidden away, far away from us. We don't know what the true enemy is. And if we don't confront that true enemy, we are just going to keep circling this, making these mistakes over and over again. When Nigeria fell the first time, a black man was on the European ship because he wanted to take the kingship of the Lagos Kingdom. He turned on his own. And every time they use us to turn on our own, making the mistakes over and over again. Then before you know it, we lost the whole continent. We lost the whole continent, and we'll be paying that price till today. Because we keep turning on ourselves all the time. They know this. And America is a pan-European country. They back themselves, they help their people, and we don't help ourselves because we don't understand the game that is being played on us. And I just hope we start waking up to that and use all the energy we have to frustrate all their efforts that they are using to divide and rule us.
All right.
This is not about the North. It's about a greater threat out there.
Thank you for this great history, man. It cost me thousands to learn. I think that's another problem. We don't know history for Nigeria. All of us, they don't teach us.
Well,
from 1960.
You didn't know history and you're putting American history for us.
Ovie, hold on.
Yes.
When you talk about American history, well, we understand how America struggled for over 200 years ago. And when they started this modern democracy that we are talking about, there was no much case study to learn from.
Controlled by Kaba anyway.
I know, but Ovie, what you must understand is that when forefather says something, I want to beg to disagree. Even everything that is said, to some extent, makes sense. Why I said I beg to disagree, because are you telling me the West like country like Saudi Arabia? They like country like UAE, United Arab Emirates, what we fondly call Dubai today? Did they like country like Qatar? Nigeria is older than Singapore with 5 good years. That's a first world nation. They are doing very, very well for themselves. Are you telling me the West like all these countries, but they don't like Africa? I think we failed ourselves. You understand? But we are still looking for people to blame. If we do well, if we channel our cause the right way, I am telling you, the world today is still go back to the era of the Portuguese. It is still called trade and barter. But if you don't have anything to trade, you don't get back. You understand? We still continue to run to United Nations to go ask for handout. We still ask for handout from the West. We don't do business with them. Americans today in Saudi Arabia, they have American quarters where they can do all the nonsense thing. Have you been to Saudi Arabia? You are going to Saudi Arabia to check your phone. You have to delete your Bible. You can't take anything. but they practice Sodom and Gomorrah in American quarters in Saudi Arabia. Do you know why? They spell out their own terms and conditions. We don't have anything to offer. We just blame the West too many times over all the things that is going on. But I can tell you simply, we don't arrange our house very well. Let me just say a little bit joke from what AB said. AB, you talk something about fire me. Do you know what happened in Kwara? There's a council, a ward in Kwara. This councillor bring his allocation. They eat wine. There are women there. They share this money in a beer parlor. Guess what? Some boys came and robbed 18 million. And the councillor said they robbed my allocation. When did they give you your allocation in cash? for armed robbers to even rob. But that is the type of country we run today. It is funny. The North that we talk about the North all the time, that this North, they are so corporate and everything. No, it is just that the level of literacy, the North are having so much challenge. They are not educated at all. What Awolowo did, immediately we got our independence. And what the North learned from British, when Awolowo started chasing them away from Victoria Island and European quarter of Papa, the North, and remember when they even moved, they did not even move to the so-called Northwest, they moved to North Central. Good percentage of them find themselves in Jos because they like the weather. But what they told them there, they said, don't leave power, because the South has education, they are smart, they know everything. So the North would not want to leave power. Not that they know how to use power. But if you tell me about the North being very, very corporate, no, I don't think so. And you will say individual can channel a course. They not respect themselves very well. The few times I worked in the airline in Nigeria before I moved to America, you'll be so shocked the things that they not do. You inside the airport, the highest people that you want to talk about, professional, what we call pickpocket, is the North. Where somebody will do rank a day, they carry their large bag, steal his money inside airport after checking in. The things that you see that you'll be so shocked because of they have this spirit of king and puppet, or king and slave, if I would say it that way. We don't get that in the West. It's not our fault. You can't get that anywhere in the Southeast. I was born, raised in Lagos. I understand the way the Yoruba do things. I equally understand to some extent the way Igbo people do things. You will see Yoruba people, they will prostrate and greet. Well, it's just their culture. An Igbo man will shake you and greet you. In the course of my growing up, there's this senior man that we used to greet. His name is Martins. But I didn't even know that the Igbo people also have this culture. They call it Day Martins, but I don't understand the meaning of day is Brother Martins. But because he's so disciplined, I call him Brother Day Martins. And he never told me that is not so. I keep calling him Brother Day Martins. You know, but then we say Yoruba have respect, Yoruba have respect. Then they say Yoruba will greet you brother and they'll call you brother Ode. That is foolish brother. They still use brother in quote, but they still call you brother Ode. They still even curse you with it. It's everywhere.
Okay.
Let's tell ourselves the truth. It's everywhere in all. So then when you talk about the North, what about the North Central? With everything they are going through today, what Benue is going through, what Kaduna is going through, and everything, are they not still North?
Okay.
Are still doing this puppet over the Northwest and the Northeast?
Thank you.
Come on, let's tell ourselves the truth.
Thank you, Paul. Thank you so much.
Can I just respond to his statement about Saudi Arabia and United Arab Emirates?
Okay,
you see,
seconds, please.
Yeah, all empires that have existed before now has always come from that region of the world. If you look at the latitude from the Roman Empire and the Greeks and all of them, really, the Persia, just name it. See, what they discovered was that this is the first time the world is being controlled by people on the northern hemisphere like that. So they have to keep that place in check. And Saudi Arabia is basically their anchor there. And if you look at everything around them, it's falling apart. You look at the Palestinian, Saudi Arabians are sitting there and their own people are being oppressed. And you look at what happened in Iraq, Yemen, look at all the problems. The people they settle with, the people that they use to control the regions like Egypt, Saudi Arabia, and Israel are the ones they favor. So just like they favor Japan now because they're using Japan against China, they favor India because they're using India. It's all about strategy. But in reality, the backup of the economy is Africa. And they never want to let Africa go for the reason that Africa is a gigantic continent and they are basically a mighty people that they cannot underestimate. This is the reason why Africa's fate is different. It's not because they like anybody. They don't like anybody. They use people against each other, just like they use us against each other. They are doing it in the Middle East right now. The funny thing is that they don't even favor any country in Africa enough to accord us what they even accorded the Saudi Arabians. That is how sad it is. They fear us that much.
But I hope you know America America bought a lot of oil from Nigeria, and they stopped precisely June 2014 or thereabout during the election time. Barack Obama precisely. You have to understand. Look, we don't have anything to offer. We beg.
Paul. Let's leave this. I like forefather. I like what you are talking about, and we will make this a subject of our conversation one day. Let me run through Mazam and Bolaji. I think anybody else, and then we go to the top. We really have to talk about these interracial marriages. Mazam, go ahead.
Yeah, with respect to what forefather said, we gave ourselves to them actually. But if you look at it now, currently, what's going on in Nigeria is that it's not even America that is even running what we are having. Do you know what China is doing to us at the moment? They are virtually taking everything free. It's not all about oil. There are so many resources that gives more money than oil in Nigeria. The gold mining is China that's controlling that. What's happening in Zamfara is China that's controlling that. Go to Nasarawa, go to all these places and see what China is doing. They are taking our lead zinc free. Even the marble granite, that one they are taking it free. You will see every day their trucks are shuttling towards Lagos. These things they don't pay. They ship. What is Nigeria shipping out of? What are we exporting to them? They will export into Nigeria, and then they will go out and they will use their ships to fish. Nobody is stopping them.
All right, Mazam, thank you so much. China is a subject of a serious discussion, and we are going to have it in a short while, very soon. Bolaji, round up on this so that.
I think for me, people would kind of jump into different topics, but going back to where we started from, I know Blessing was talking about the movement that Obi can win election. I totally believe that if youths and people can actually work seriously on this, it's very possible for him to win election. It's just about people having that conviction. But I know we have a problem generally right now that we all feel defeated, that there's nothing we can do. PDP will win, APC will win. But third force is still very possible if we are all committed and serious about it. And we support a very serious candidate. I think Obi is one of them. And for me, people might feel disappointed if I'm in Nigeria today. If I see Obi on the ballots and I see Omoyele there, I'll give my vote to Obi for a lot of good reasons. Outside that one, I think generally in terms of policy affecting Africa or not, there's some thoughts that people have expressed that are kind of true, but the problem is it's not the problem of people exploiting us, it's the way we present ourselves, because we are not that organized. We always want to blame people that they are exploiting us, but if we make ourselves vulnerable, we are not organized. So they have all the reasons to come in and take whatever they want to take. But definitely, talking about the constitution, people keep on going there. I will say this one, and I believe in this. If you give a very simple task to a novice, that task is going to look very complex. But if you give it to an expert, that task is going to look very simple, like, oh, anybody should be able to do it. Nigeria's situation is not beyond redeemable. It's not a complex problem that we cannot fix, that cannot be fixed by a good leader. No country in the world has a perfect constitution. For example, if you look at it, 2020, January 2020, we see what happened in the United States. So that we see how vulnerable the US Constitution also is. So Nigeria problem is not about the constitution is bad until the constitution is fixed before we can solve the problem. If you have a good leader, the country is going to work. If you have a good driver, you enjoy a good ride. If you have a bad driver, even a brand new car is dangerous for you to be inside it. So that's just my own point.
All right. Thank you so much, Bolaji. If I missed anybody in the roundup session, can they please pardon me so that we can quickly okay, Ovie.
Don't
Okay,
mind.
just start
No,
it.
no, no.
Start it
I'm just
consult.
no, I'm
Huh?
just.
You
I'm
said
just.
what?
He's
Oh,
just
okay.
joking.
I'm just joking that
Okay.
you missed
All
me.
right. All right.
I mean,
All right.
so.
All right. Because I want everybody to be happy, but we have to move on
Talk
to
about that. No.
our next topic. Okay. All right. All right. Welcome back to our show. This is Have Your Say 247. Now, today, on June 12th, it will be 50. That will mark the 55th year that is legal for people of different races to get married in America. 55th year. A Supreme Court judgment in Loving versus Virginia made the way for that to happen. And since then, we've had a lot of Africans who are here. This is really a topic that a lot of women were interested in joining the conversation, but I made the mistake of starting with politics, and this is where we are. Next time, we have to put politics behind. Yes, it's serious. But we have now people. I don't know, people like Ovie might be young. I don't know if they are married and who they married, but there are people who have kids who are of marriage age is here in America, and they are confronting this issue. Africans, which is that their children come home and say, "Look, this is the person I want to marry. Maybe not an African, maybe not a Yoruba person that you wanted your daughter or your son to marry." So it's a very serious issue, and a lot of people are actually dealing with that. And sometimes you find some parents, they will resist, and there's a conflict with families. So we want to talk about that. I had an interview with a woman, Jenna, in London, and she told me stories about her own experience. We will get to that, but I want to hear your viewpoints. And let me start with people who just joined us. Dr. Dominic, welcome to the show.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Nice to see you. You missed the political part, so
I actually was watching. I was traveling from DC to New York. I just arrived in New York at the
okay.
So I was listening on the train.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, been each other.
Good.
I saw the topic, but you guys are talking about politics.
Of course.
Talk.
I just wanted to let them have a warm up, and then it became the show.
I understand, because obviously a lot of things have happened.
Politically, yeah. We can't ignore politics.
Absolutely.
But again, we're talking about human beings, and we're talking about us, our life. We want to reserve on Wednesdays to deal with a little bit of issues about life abroad, because
I'm only gonna make one comment.
Dominic, tell us about your side chick. Dominic, tell us about your side chick.
Which side chick?
So, did you ask if I'm married? Is it not when you marry, you get a side chick?
So chick from Kazakhstan.
So
we don't do that here.
So let's really talk about this. It doesn't have to be our own experience.
Yes.
If you know people, what people are going through, it's a very common thing in Europe, in America, in Asia. It's a real life experience.
I don't even know where to start. I think from my experience, I grew up in Nigeria before I came here. I think for me, I've had a very extensive. I have families, extended family members who are all across the New York, New Jersey area. And, when you interact with your cousins and other relations, you kind of see how their mindset is. One thing I do know is I remember my uncles and aunts, they tried their best to raise their kids to have that strong Nigerian culture. Some of them made very strong efforts to take their kids back every summer. Some really didn't do that much. A particular uncle of mine, he tried his best, but still his kids, I think there's only one that married a Nigerian. the rest marry the Chinese or biracial or and I have nothing against any of that. It's just to see the kind of effort that he put, because he's a guy. He's very stubborn. He's like, I'm strongly Igbo, this and that. If you see him, he's always, has that bravado about him. But then
Okay. Dominic is upside down. We can't hear him.
I thought I say inside chick is from Kazakhstan.
All right. Let me go to the next person. Dominic, will come back to you. Okay, Janaba.
Yeah.
So interracial marriages. Any personal experience? Any experience from people around you? What do you know?
Personally, on my own, my heart jump on my own. Jump because my children are growing, and one of them like Oibo. I'm not against it, but sometimes, to be honest, is that I would love her to marry to I don't know, brother. This is hard. I will wish her to be happy, married, to be treated with respect, and I'm looking forward to that, brother. Brother Dr. Damages, I'm trying to be careful on my own.
I advise you not to talk. No, seriously, I would say don't say anything, because anything you talk,
exactly.
Yeah.
So,
in the house. Speak up.
I have a good friend by nearest city here, like 15 minutes from my house. And because of my own struggle, and when he tells me, "Oh, my son is only coming home with white lady," and I don't know what to say. And I said to him, because I'm going through the same thing. So I told him, but it's opposite. These days, the girl bring them home. The man, they take the man go. So it's very confusing. Women, even the men love you, and the children love you. I'm talking about the female. When they get married, they bring the husband close to the family. But opposite is the case where we come from. We always believe that when a man married to a woman, he bring the woman home. Cross that, even the name change and all of that. But here, they carry the go on the other side. So I don't know, Dr. Damages. Let me reserve my comment. Let me hear from others before I get in trouble.
All right. These are topics that they touch the heart. Blessing, go ahead. I know Blessing is where she is in Nigeria.
Yes, it's almost 1 a.m. here.
It's almost 1 a.m. where Blessing is. Blessing, thank you so much.
Yes, it's almost 1 a.m.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun hanging out with all these people. I really appreciate. But this whole interracial something, I think there's a way our people view it. For the longest time since I've come to understand that there's something called interracial marriage, our people don't really view it as marriage. You come home and you tell your people, I am married to a white woman. They tell you, you're not married. You're like, yeah, you're not married. It is. I have families there. It is sad, but it is true. You tell your mother in the village, Mama, I'm married. I have a wife. I have 2 children. She look at you. Where are they? They are not with you. Say no. They are in Obodo Ibo. They are overseas. You say no. You are not married. You are not married. Who is going to come home and stay and continue your lineage? You try to explain to them. So what I'm trying to say is there's still this perception about interracial marriages with the people down here, especially with the older generation that are uneducated. They view it as what you need to do to get by over there. When you are ready, you come home and marry. They, when you are ready, they do not consider it marriage. The only time they can give you the benefits of the doubt is when you carry the Oyibo person and come home. When you now carry the Oyibo person and come home, they'll be like, oh, Oyota, okay, she cannot bend down well. Okay, we can train her for that one. It's very good, but they will not draw you aside to see what she's doing, like a Greek chicken. This is not how it will be. Oh. You need to. It is. It is. It is. I don't know. I hate to say this. I hate to say this. I had a cousin who was married to a white woman. All of a sudden, out of the blue, he chatted me up. He saw a picture of a friend of mine and was like, "I like that your friend though. Hook me up." I said, bro, something happened now. You don't marry. You don't be your wife born last month. He said, yeah. She had a baby last month. A baby boy. He looked just like me. I said, that's nice. So what are you looking at my friend for? He said, that one is just contract marriage. I said, contract what? Bros, you have two boys too. I thought her leg is now strong in the family. You know, they tell women that when you have boy children, your leg will not be strong in the family. What is this Oyinbo woman leg doing with two boys and she's not even having strong leg in the family? He said, no, that one is just for papers. I don't understand. That is not something he can explain. And he meant it. Till today, he's still searching for a wife, even though he's married over there.
Yeah, but hold on.
He meant it. So there's still this perception, the way we view interracial marriage.
Blessing, I think you mixed two things there. But let me ask you this: people like us, your cousins or people you know who are abroad, do you think they're different from those who married Oyibo? You know, like in terms of being able to come back. I want to know if people at home are beginning to see people outside, because some of us outside, maybe we may not be able to come back finally to settle there, or our children will not come back. We are technically out about lineage. Are people not seeing that at home now?
Don't say it loudly, oh. They will carry your name to pastor. Don't say it loudly. That you use because of Oyinbo woman, you don't come home. Don't say it loudly. Your
All
kids
right.
will be in the church.
All right. Thank you, Blessing. Thank you so much.
Anyway, on a more serious note, I think there's been a change in paradigm in terms of thoughts concerning this kind of issues. It's not as bad as it was some years ago. People are becoming more accepting, although there's still a way they view it, but they're generally becoming more accepting towards interracial marriages.
All right, thank you. Let me come to you, forefathers. I hope you have wisdom on this, because this is a serious topic. Part of what's going on is that most of us come to America, work hard, become part of the middle class. We move away. We move to white neighborhood, to Indian, rich neighborhood, and live there. We disconnect ourselves from, where our African brothers are, and we raise our kids in white schools, and they have white friends. And when it's time for marriage, then people stop and say, I need a Yoruba in-law, I need a Yoruba in-law. Then it's suggesting to the kids, what about how will they don't know them, they don't communicate with them, they are not on their phone list, they are not on the people they play games with. How will they end up marrying them? Forefathers, tell us what's going on.
That, for me anyway, I think many people, their experiences of this will probably be different. When I was growing up in Nigeria, what you tend to hear is that people go overseas, they marry just to get along, then they come home and still get a proper wife in Nigeria. I feel like there is an element of slight, how do I put it, people being in somewhat of a denial of what is going on, because the media clearly shows us the standard of beauty and all the rest of the stuff we consume. Many of our men do lust over these foreign women, and they want to be with them. Hence why, according to the lady, she said the guy has 2 children with a white woman, and at the same time saying he's just arranging marriage. How does that even work? What kind of arrangement has 2 children in between it? So that's not how. See, people pretend as if that's not what is happening. And I think that there is there is more serious aspect to this that is doing damage, because somebody wrote a report, I think sometime last year I saw, that said there are so many empty castles and industries in Africa that has been left unattended to by the younger generation. That these rich families have sent their children abroad, expecting their children to return back, and they don't. And it's doing a lot of damage to our societies. I actually know of one that is supposed to be a kind of Obi of a place, and he grew up somewhere else, and his whole way of thinking is Western, and he can't relate to the people on the ground. So that, for me, that's a more serious aspect, and I don't think that we should be thinking about people just because they go overseas they should remain there. And even if they do, they should have to remember the country educated you, spend the little money we have raising you, and they go overseas and they forget, because I don't have any issue with interracial marriage, but I have issues when it damages the people on the ground in the continent. And for me,
Hold on. How does that damage the people on the continent?
because if somebody raises you in Nigeria and up to a certain point, and the Nigerian state gave you free education, and then you go overseas, and then you have married into their bloodline, and at the same time, remember, the African gene is supposed to be the base gene of humanity. You pass it off, and you forget your people, and all the education go away. With the little money we have, that's damaging to the home. This in your expertise is gone.
Okay, I just want to make sure that we understand the damage you're talking about. Like Ovie, who ran for Nigeria and was sent abroad by Nigeria to, but anyway, let him tell the story.
It's a brain. That's what they call brain drain, and I think it's a serious thing that we have to look into. Because what I know that the Chinese did was that whenever they send people overseas, they made sure either they have a way of having them return, or have them establish industries in the West that they can use to buy intellectual companies and gain that intellectual property right to develop their own country. And what I saw in the case of our own diaspora minister, she seems to be somebody that is just there to supply our best minds to foreign powers. I don't understand that. Why do we always have to go over there and then marry, go lose our people? And we are impoverishing the continent because the best minds are overseas. I'm one of them. I know. I'm one of them.
Forefathers, I'm talking beyond us now, you, me, and Ovi, and all the people here. I'm talking about the children. Because we can force ourselves home because we know people home, but we're talking about the children now who most of the time are not connected to people at home. Abby, what is your take? What are you?
Doctor, please, can you help me, please? I want to leave, please.
Okay.
I want to leave too, Paul. You see, my daughter is
All right. Paul first, and then Abby, I'll come to you. Paul, go ahead.
I think, Doctor, I think the narrative is so complex and it's a different thing. Like, let me use America as a case study where we live, so we can understand and we can talk things from our own American perspective. For example, I can say 80% of Nigerians, Africans, you understand, good percentage of us probably come with some type of visa that cannot let us become resident or citizen over here. The Africans, Americans, they really help us on that aspect. Many of us may have bad experience in the course of that. Many of us, we also have good experience, but we also cheat on them. We trick them, we lie to them, just to get that residency, become a citizen, as the case may be. That is one aspect of it. Then, when we start raising kids, some of us that have bad experience, then we stereotype. My kids will never do anything with these people. The third aspect of it, good percentage of us, precisely I want to use countries like Nigeria, Ghana. Very many of us, maybe our elite, Nigerians and Ghanaians, we come here, maybe we already have our bachelors, our masters, we come here to come do second masters or come take our master's degree. So we are doing well. And when we come here, because of exchange rates, we live in what I would call the ghetto. We live and see the worst of these people. We have bad experience of them while we are still struggling. Then when we make it, we get out of that comfort zone and pray that the Egypt will see them no more. Meanwhile, we don't understand that because of where we find ourselves, that's why we see the worst of them. And we, at that case, we are doing very, very well. So we stereotype from that aspect. For example, my daughter, she's school in a secular school where you have white, brown, Asians, and the likes. This is a good school, seventh best high school in Arizona, 33 best out of 26,400 in America. So these kids meet a lot. Sometimes my daughter will be having something. I see a white person will pull up to my house. Hey, please, can you allow my daughter to join them? I see a brown person pull up. Probably sometimes in this case, some of these kids may tell lies. Sometimes they may say the truth that mom, she has to come. She really, really helped me in school. The parents will forget races because they understand this person in code is doing very, very well in school. They want their kids to associate with people like that. I see a brown person, I see a black person. Probably my daughter too also tell me the same thing. I can walk up to them. I don't know how kids play this game. And I get along because it's their classmate. I know these kids are struggling. They're doing well for themselves. So it's a whole complex issue from the transition of getting paper, the trick that we play, or the experience that we have. These are the things that form some of us, our opinion, or taking a decision that never. Then some of us also just come here because we don't really like anything here. We just need only one thing: make the money and go intimidate people back home. So we want to go back home and use our kids, use ourselves to intimidate, to live large. If you marry a white person and take them home, you will not enjoy those luxury because they even go back and even play with the vulnerable people in the streets. They don't understand how to live big, carry shoulders up, and do what the new song Buga. They don't do it. If you carry a white woman to Nigeria, they don't Buga. But if you marry one Yoruba girl, even though to an Igbo land, that girl will still go there and Buga. It's normal. So these are all the things that bring some of these things. Thank
All
you.
right. Thank you so much. And thank you for joining us today, Paul.
Yeah, I'll just be on the backstage watching. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Ebi, your turn.
Thanks, Paul. This is a very. I mean, I'm smiling. I used to live in Australia, went back to Nigeria, and then come back to Canada. And this idea of Oyibo, I knew how it was tough, but I'll leave that. First of all, I love interracial kids. So personally, I mean, I like it from my head, but my heart tells me that Africa cannot be brain drained as we are being drained right now, and also become genetically drained or wiped out. Because this is looking at the larger picture. I'm a very open person, secular person. I mean, where I lived, the girlfriend that I've had until I married abroad, now Yimbu, and I didn't need paper. Okay, I didn't need paper. I'm fine. All right. So it's not only because of paper. Some people, it's also. I was working at a university in Australia. All the young girls, they're all there, and all that. But I still come to Nigeria and got married. And
Why did you do that? Can you share with us, please?
Well,
when you got to the point that you wanted to marry and you said,
okay, all right, thank you for dragging me to this. I thought about some things, and forefather says something, and I think Paul, that individual whatever matters. So this, I will give you my own experience. I thought about the harmony in what we will eat. I am a Nigerian boy, a typical Yoruba boy from Ilesha, and I still speak my dialect very well. I finished university in Nigeria before traveling abroad ever. Okay, so I'm a root boy. I can never change. My DNA is pure Nigerian up till as I speak. So, and then mixing with a few people in Australia, then who married Oyinbo. Go their house, they see as the thing they do. It didn't work for me. It's not working. No, it didn't work. So I was like, I'm not going to do. I'm not going to do this thing. You know? So, and then I look at when I will retire. Again, this is Ebenezer Komolafe. Me, after some time here for Canada, I go die for Nigeria. That is my own choice. All right. When I retire, I plan to. I can't look at Oyibo go follow me. So these are fundamental things. And then my parents are not well read. I am the eldest son. So I will come carry Oyibo, tolo. Then my mom, where they speak raw Ijesha. Then how the thing go work now with my papa? So these are for me, as educated as I am, those fundamentals didn't go away. So I narrowed the thing down. Nigeria, marry, fine, correct, tanned woman. And I'm very happy, Now for my kids, and
yes.
and I have, what? I have 2 daughters.
Okay.
I'm in trouble, just like John. But mine are still younger. All right. I am planning to. I'm already doing it, and that's why they like Dr. Damages. They like Lagbaja Fela. My house is Nigeria. I am bombarding their brain. I'm very soon. See, you can culture a child. My dad introduced me to Sonny Ade, Ebenezer Obey, all this music. In the morning, when I'm taking my kids to school, that's what we played. They are now so indoctrinated now that when I'm going, they say, Daddy, YouTube, you forgot Ebenezer today. We listened to Sonny yesterday. Beautiful Nubia, Fela, all these core, whatever. So you can indoctrinate them.
Hold on. Have you played a portable?
I actually, they like portable and Orisha Femi.
What about Naira Marley?
Naira Marley, I don't play that one.
Have you played Q Dot?
No, the truth is, I don't even play Davido and Wizkid's videos because they're a bit adult.
Q Dot is 100% true. I listen to Q Dot.
Yeah, okay, sir. They like Burna Boy because Burna Boy is, for me, is some level above. I don't care what anybody say in terms of the way his lyrics are and all that. So, I mean, these things are personal things. But if we want to be pro-African, like Omoyele Sowore, Pan-African and all that, I want to self-preservation. Now, we just a day diplomatic to say we like them. We know we like them. So,
thank you so much. Thank you so much,
Right, good night, everybody. Okay, fathers, I hope to join one more because most time when this is going, I'm still maybe writing reports and I couldn't join.
Yeah.
I like you all and thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for joining us. We appreciate it. Ovia, I'm not coming to you yet because.
Are you coming to me yet?
Dude, you say what?
No, okay. I'll just shut up and let others talk now.
Okay, Jude, let's hear from Jude. Jude, go ahead.
Yeah, really, it's been it is a serious issue here, especially in the United States where I live. Personally, as an individual, I would wish and hope that our people continue to look inward whenever they want to marry, because in fact, African culture, I would say, is becoming endangered culture. Like we have endangered species, it's becoming endangered culture because African are prone to, including Nigeria, we are prone to accepting what is not ours, and embrace it and look at it as the best rather than looking at what we have and appreciating it. As a matter of fact, from my experience so far in this Western world, Africa has the richest and the best culture, I would say. Okay? So a culture where you marry in Africa, in Nigeria, for instance, if you're marrying, if you come to a family to marry, you're not only marrying to that man or that woman, you are marrying to the whole family and the whole village or the whole clan. Okay, as opposed to Western culture, where you can marry an Oyibo. Oyibo might even decide and say your father, well, your mother must not visit. If they come, he might say, okay, when is she going? When is she going to leave the place? And he can do anything. If he even insists, he can even send the person away. Okay, and there's nothing you can do about it. Okay, so we should I believe we should continue to look inward when we want to get married, so as to continue to procreate, our culture and sustain our culture and to procreate our species, our human species in terms of the blacks. Again, there's one thing I have found here that most of us parents here that are doing, which I don't like, especially in my place of work. Some of them in my place, some of my colleagues in my place of work that are Nigerian, I always talk to them about it. Most of them believe, they say, Nigeria, I don't even think my children will go back to that country anymore. They don't have to go back. So I don't even bother. They can marry anywhere they want. I say, what? They can marry anywhere they want. You don't believe they'll go back? Which is, to me, I don't know. It's so sad that they'll be thinking, some parents are thinking that way, that their children they born here, because they don't speak our language and they don't even do anything to teach them. So, and then their children are already, getting entangled with Asian girls for the guys, all kind of people, but except their own country. So it's so sad, and if it continues like that, I don't know what's going to happen, because we have so many Nigerians in diaspora and they are having children, and their children will continue to have children. Okay, and for some of those like me, I'm still single. I'm waiting. If I see a Nigerian girl here,
Oh, you're still single. Wait.
although I was married before we divorced, and
Okay. Did you have
yeah,
kids in the first marriage?
huh?
Did you have kids in the
Yeah,
first?
I have a kid. I have a child. My daughter, she is in the she's 20-year-old now. Very soon, I'm sure she'll be talking about somebody.
The wife is from where? Do you mind?
Oh no, from Nigeria.
Okay.
From Nigeria.
So, but if your daughter comes home now with somebody who is white, what will you say? Or another
Like I
race?
said, I would wish and insist that she wasn't born here.
Okay. Oh, she wasn't born here. Okay.
She just came. I just brought her 2019
Okay.
2014.
Okay.
But she didn't even take up to one year before she became, in fact, it's like she has lost everything about Nigeria. Okay. She speaks Funel like somebody who was even more than those who were born here. All right. She has most of her friends, her girlfriends are all white, and and most of her friends are white. Okay, she always reminds me she's a big girl, because of the culture that if you are 18 years, they assume that they can do whatever they like. Okay, and if you try to stop them, they look at it as if you are abusing them, like they tell us here, we from Africa that spank our children, that is an abuse. Okay, so it's a big thing. It's a big thing. I would wish and hope that she look inward and get a reasonable Nigerian to marry, even if the Nigerian is born here. It's better than I don't know. It's better than Oyibo.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Dr. Dominic, I will come to you later I want you to talk about genetics and things around that, in intermarriage. But Ovie, tell us your experience.
My experience.
Yeah.
Oh man.
I don't trust, people, once they have dreadlocks, it's likely that they go. Anyway, go ahead. Tell us.
Oh man, I go.
Whose daughter is grown? Jude is single. I don't mind. I'm from Nigeria.
All right, Ovie, tell us what you've seen or heard, if you don't have experience.
I think you have when it comes to the other aspect, I have a lot of a lot of common with Abby that just left.
Mm.
I be village boy. Forget all these things. So all this in Abuja. I be
You better
village
don't go to
boy.
Nigeria with that one, no, because otherwise you know what is happening.
At least the first 10 years of my life, the first 10 years na village, like Kong village, a village whereby when Oyibo people come, also because I'm from Ososo, not like tourist destination when it comes to Edo North.
You're
When
from
white people,
Osaka?
yes, I'm from Ososo. You know
Oh,
Ososo?
I was a teacher at Iruekwe, very close to Osaka in those days.
Ah,
Iruekwe Grammar
yes,
in
wow.
the 90s.
Anyway, good. So when back then, late 80s, early 90s, when Oyibo people come, as a kid, then we they run after them. We never see Oyibo people before, right? Then when I begin travel, luckily for me, Nigeria, as you really indicated, Nigeria they begin carrying me travel, being everywhere. I remember when I got to Bulgaria, Slivnik, that's the name of the town. It's about 3 hours from Sofia. Sofia is the capital of Bulgaria. When I see white people begin run after me too, they never see black person before. I say, oh, one.
Wow.
They actually will come out on the street because we went there to train. Come out on the street, they look like, wow, really? Is this really? I became jealous of one of all who is very dark. Ayo is in Germany now. Like he is very, very dark. Then I
Wow.
know they come up. People where would they do rubbish for Nigeria? So now they say rich. We go club and babes they rush this guy. White girls. I was like, wow. Then when I want to come America, it's the first time I've been to the embassy. Now Nigeria, they always obtain my visa and every place. So coming to the embassy now, first one America. I won't come school, so I have to appear before then and all that. I remember when I get a visa, so before I left, you know, I lost my dad, early 90s, so that was long. So I have elder brothers who are in their 80s and 70s and 60s and 50s. I remember the only advice, or only when I want to travel out, only advice they gave me, no matter where you go. That is the only advice they gave me.
Did they tell you why?
No.
Okay.
And me, I don't want to because after I've been around Europe, been to Middle East and all that, I have seen them very close. I've seen when they are in their teens, 20s, 30, 40, 50. I was like, my pa in his 80s, the guy said they born. So I don't know how I want to do it. If I want to go, if I want to. So that's the advice they gave me when I come to America. Of course, I went to North Dakota. Most of my classes now let me be black. So for that 4 years, I'm all around there, nothing that much. Then that's when I begin read about politics, history, economics, and all that. And I begin to understand, say, come, marriage itself, one, are set up. Two, is not based on economic basis. But above all, even though they avoid them, it's political. Just as I put them, everything are politics. Right? Everything in politics. Now, in class, in one of my class, this same conversation came up. They begin to ask, of course, I'll be targeted. They'll ask me, Fred, will you marry, a Caucasian, a white girl? I started to look at her and say, no. Everybody was like, wow, why? I say, the truth is that you that is sitting beside me, if I should get married to you today, and after 10, 15 years, I say, man, village they call me. Are you going to go with me? To
That,
stay, not be to visit. Will you live with me in my village?
they'll tell you
Because
no.
I don't be Lagos. I don't stay for Lagos. I don't like I'm not I be village, but will you live with me? They said no. I was like, you still need a better answer to that. But because of the relationship we have with most of our professors, we're in a small class and all that, they visit us ourselves, and these are the conversation we are having. And one thing struck me one day when this lady, one of my professors, heartedly say she will not allow a kid to marry a black person, not necessarily in Africa now. And I was like, why? I said, the truth is that between you and me, the way a black kid is being treated in this part of the world, I don't think I can stand it if my own grandkids are going through that. So all those things begin to matter. When I begin, I can say, okay, all these things are political. Imagine I get married to you today, because whether I would like it or not, just like what the previous speaker was talking about, that our major problem is outside Nigeria, and I totally agree with that. Now, me and you there as a wife, begin up when I mean begin now, I have to come to that point that I have to pick a side. I don't know, because I'm so rooted. I don't want to look you say you my wife. I'm not gonna side you, and it's not going to turn out well. So however we look at it, me be rooted in tradition. I don't want to see you good in no good though. It's a no-go area. I will not do it. I won't encourage anybody to do it. And if I have kids who are up to that age as the time comes, I will do everything I can. But I can't force them, but to discourage them. I don't even want to kind of raise kids here. I mean, I know this is personal and all that. I don't feed. It's just too much. I have study so much about the differences that I'm not sure that I feel do. And if I can't do it, I don't want to encourage anybody to go through it. Apart from my own, personal story. Now I get friends maybe say, of course, some are living the best of their life, but majority it's over for them. When I mean it's over, you can't go back to where you're coming from the same. And the probability that your kids, this one, so I don't see and close to your family, that your kids will come back to you, it's pretty much zero unless you hold your side.
Exactly.
I don't care. Kids follow money unless you hold back. And the truth is that these people said they don't care about you anyway until you actually hold your side. That's why they will actually listen to you or take your advice or your whatever you are throwing at them. So me knowing all these things, it go hard though. I mean, I date them, I go out with them and all that. But when they say no, I can't. I just, I've experienced so much that I don't know. I don't know the good way go bring that. It will overshadow
Okay.
what may likely happen if I go that route.
Okay.
Some of the best people I've been with, I live with them every time. But
Okay,
when it
thank
comes
you.
to that contract,
Thank you very
I
much.
will
But let me
lose.
just tell you that there are some Nigerian or African women who will not go back to Nigeria with you if you want to go back. So it's not just so you go. I will not go back. Anyway, Dominic, before I come to you, let me. Alexi just joined us again. Alexi, we are talking about interracial marriages. I saw what you posted that you are. Did you say your niece got married to somebody? Can you tell us the story if you care, if you want to? No, you're muted. Can you unmute yourself? Oh, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can unmute you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you. It's very important what we are discussing, and it's ongoing as we speak. I have members of my family now that I can say are biracial, but there's something their parents did that has become interesting to know. My niece, being a woman, should answer her husband's name, right?
Right.
She does, but she made it compound with Njoku. And the children, when they came, the man was, well, again, education is very important. She's a physiotherapist. She is more like the breadwinner of the family. And the husband is very much at home with her. They have gone to my village, seen everything. He talks about the place he likes, what he saw, and all that. So they are in agreement that the children should answer a compound name of both families. And when I talk to those children, the excitement about their name being Njoku Lopez, I see them and they are just saying, Uncle, my last name is Njoku Lopez. Their mother's clinic is Njoku Lopez Chiropractic. So they are carrying that name and they are proud of it. So what I saw in them is, should they get a point in their lives where they have been well educated, they can very well go back, provided our country, again, the thing we are discussing before this topic. If our country is smooth, believe me, our children will invest over there. Look, Rwanda has white people coming, begging to stay there, even when they are not being forced by marriage or anything, just because the place is livable and they can work there. Some of them are into real estate, trying to sell to you and I, who are Africans, real estate in Kigali. So let's not shut out some positive aspects of what will come out of interracial marriage. We just have to work on it. And when we do, we may find that Our children have become international people. Over here, you're talking about Australia.
Bulgaria.
I've gone there 3 times. I go there easily.
Bulgaria, not sorry.
Oh, Bulgaria. I'm sorry.
No.
So, I mean, if we can be anywhere, anytime in this world, then the place we choose to stay will not matter anymore. So let's encourage our children to become professionals in their fields and possibly the best. We will be able to handle that aspect of our fears. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right, Dominic, I will let you give us there are the perceptions out there. So many of them, we don't have time to get into it. Maybe we can talk about it another time. The benefits of a mixed race children, the genetic fitness. So there are some both scientific and fake science out there. So if you can clear some of them for us, I know I didn't prepare you for this, but whatever you know. And then after that, I will play a video of my interview with a woman, a Nigerian woman, whose daughter married someone from Danish man, and the experience, So go ahead, Dominic.
Yeah, this is a very, very sensitive topic. So I will be very guarded in how I talk about it. Because, based on history, Hitler, eugenics, and things of that sort, superior race versus an inferior race. Quite frankly, I believe we're all human race. And when it comes to genetics, it's all about which family or individual you're marrying from, right? For example, if you're going to marry, if you're in Nigeria, I think we still do that. Before, at least I know for Catholic Church, you always check, is this person AS, SS, and all those things, so that when you guys get married, you don't end up having kids who have sickle cell, right? So I think more of it on an individual level. I don't believe diversity is beautiful. Don't get me wrong, but I think when it comes to interracial marriage, I don't think that question about diversity is valid because we're all humans. And so the same genetics that you have is what a white person has or a Chinese person. The only difference is how much melanin that is in their skin, whether they have more melanin like us or they have less melanin, right? Everything else is the same. They bleed blood like us. So I wouldn't go there. But I think once you start going there, you start going to this increased talk of eugenics, superior versus inferior, and whose culture, whose genetic pool makes the other one better. I don't want to dabble in those topics. I think there's pseudoscience in that regard. So I don't believe in those things.
Okay.
But, sorry, let me say something. I'm not talking about the success of marriage. Maybe if you marry, the other side will be successful or not. I went back to Nigeria and married a black woman. After 1 year, we scatter ground. We don't marry again. So now my village person. So I'm not saying it's our fault. It could be my fault. But what I'm trying to say, I go back to my village. If I'm married from my street, if I stand from my papa window and they see our grandfather,
but that's the problem. You can't do that. Nobody told you.
So, like when I mean, literally, we are from the same. Like, I see the house, see my house. It didn't work out. So that doesn't mean because she's not white or whatever. But
I think the mistake that we make
something.
Yeah, hold on. Let him finish. Dominic, go ahead.
I think the mistake that we make is we don't think about things. We have this. One thing about me is I don't like reacting to how people do things. I'm not a reactionary person. I plan myself and I do certain things. I think there's a sense of reaction that we have whereby people are panicking. Oh, my kids are going to marry a white person or a Chinese person. They're like, let's plan a marriage for them, and you don't even think. Just go straight. Somebody from the street. No, that's not how it works. You actually have to put in effort and think about it. So it's not by marrying someone who's Nigerian or someone who's from your culture. It's all about getting to know that person, right? So you're trying to run away from marrying someone who is non-Nigerian because their culture is different. There's a high rate of divorce. It's you don't eat the same food. You don't speak the same language. So there's more chances of having friction and the marriage not lasting. And then you go back to Nigeria, and then you pick up someone that you have nothing in common. You didn't even get to interact with the family. There's nothing in. It's just that they have the same culture. People on the same culture doesn't automatically equal compatibility. People still put that level, but people don't take that for granted. A lot of people do it. My friend, go down to Nigeria and get their wife. That's not that way. Some of them come here and the wife chases them out of your house. So you still have to put in some thoughts. It's not just once someone is Nigerian, that's it. I will say one thing.
growing up in Nigeria, I know 2 doctors in Onitsha. Actually 3 doctors. One married an Indian. The Indian wife came down with him. They have a school in Onitsha, and the Indian wife was managing the school. I don't know what. I think the man later died. Wife was with him all the time. The other 2 married white women. The white women came down from wherever they are, Germany or whatever countries. One was in Germany, one was in Hungary. They set up hospitals in Onitsha. Those women were still there running the hospitals with them. So I think at the end of the day, it's all about the individual. I'm not necessarily about the race. Because these 2 individuals or these 3 doctors made the right choice of having someone who's they're compatible with, someone who agrees that if they raise their kids, they would allow them to have the Nigerian culture. And the women were willing to come down to Nigeria with them. Right? Now, when it comes to whether or not I'm not married yet, whether or not I will marry someone who's not Nigerian, I have my beliefs. My belief is more about I want to, I'm a very busy physician. And so when it comes to raising kids, I want a partner who already has some of those cultures. I'm an Igbo man. I like my kids to speak Igbo. I know of, family members who live in Lagos and their kids don't even speak Igbo. So I want my kids to be able to speak Igbo. I want to be able to eat Nigerian food. I can cook, so I'm not dependent on any woman to cook for me. But at least I want, the kids to be part of that culture. And so my choice of marrying a Nigerian person is not because I have any issues with marrying someone who's not Nigerian. It's because I know what I want. And I feel like if I go down to Nigeria and marry an Igbo person, it makes it easier for me to raise my kids to have that culture. I don't have to stress myself. I don't have to put in a lot of effort. Now, I can marry a white woman or a Chinese or a Korean woman, but it would require much more effort to try to get her on board. And even if I was going to marry someone who's not Nigerian or even someone from another African country, I have to be sure that person is willing to be part of my culture. See, all of that is extra work that I don't have time for. And so there's that convenience of you marry someone who's from your own side.
Yeah.
It makes it easier, but you have to put in the work and hire the right person. Don't just say because they're from your culture, they're from your streets, like Ovie said. All of a sudden, it makes it easy.
When you get money too, to talk that one. That one I cover. Get money first.
All right. Jude, go ahead.
Yeah, Dominic, what you're saying is perfectly correct. I mean, it's a lot of effort you put in when you marry somebody who is not from the same culture. Yeah, however, all of these things does not guarantee, like some of us have rightly mentioned, does not guarantee a successful marriage. Because right now there is a pervasive situation that is going on here in America about Nigerian men going home to bring a wife, and when you bring them here, as soon as they drop their luggage, your hell will break loose. And then before you know it, that marriage has hit the rock. It's happening. And then for some who have been here, who manage to continue to patch their own because they have kids, because I tell you, so many Nigerian marriages today are going through the crucibles. And the reason why some couples are still remaining together is because of their children. Otherwise, they would have gone their separate ways. And when those children that are in those kind of situation are growing and they see what is happening to Nigerian marriages, some of them were like, I'm not going to go home and marry a Nigerian woman. Look at what is going on. Look at how they are driving away their husbands and stuff and things like that. And then how some Nigerian men also, when they bring their Nigerian wives, when they come here, some of them will be so lazy to start doing anything, especially when they are nurses. When those women become nurses or something, they kind of relapse and allow the woman to be doing so much, and that adds so much pressure. At the end of the day, the woman will not be able to cope, and then she explodes, and before you know it, the marriage is gone. We have so many broken marriages among Nigerian, in this United States of America, and I'm sure the same applies in law in UK too. Because of different, the kind of cultural shock that happens when they bring them here. When they come here, they find out that they're in a system that your husband cannot even talk to you and raise his voice, as opposed in Nigeria, because if you do, it's just one phone call away, and the police will come and tell you to walk, to walk out of your house. Even your children, you raise your voice. I've seen, hey, Daddy, stop yelling at me. Are you kidding me?
Jude, you said you're still looking for wife and you want to get married in this system.
There might be still some very few.
I think you should just retire, just forget about
There is still some few.
Okay, John, don't do it.
I
Don't
believe
do
there is
it.
still
Don't
few
do
that
it.
are
Don't
good.
marry again. Just stay like that.
Jude, the
No,
thing,
no, no, no. God
Don't
never
do
meant
it.
it that way.
what you are talking about was when
Don't
things
do
were
it.
still good in the 80s and 90s. Things are worse now. That somebody can come to you and say, you're looking at a girl and say, I'm not a girl, you call me them.
Yeah.
Dear, that's the pronoun to use. It's
Don't
not.
dare.
It's a different word now. Just round them.
Mr. Jude and
I
Dr.
won't give
Dominic,
up.
don't
I
get
won't give up.
married.
I will find that phone
Don't
on
do
my
it.
phone.
Jude, brother Jude.
Yes, sir.
Okay, I think. How long you did? If you don't mind, though, the last one last for how long?
Well, we got married January 20.
You remember the date?
January 2020, 2015, 2012. So I filed for her, and she joined me 2014, and then the following year I filed for divorce.
You filed?
Yes, I did.
Okay. And
Oh my God.
I thought I should have introduced you, but you already introduced yourself. I got introduced. You know this where we live now. I thought that I live in Texas. Texas is a happening place. Where do you live?
Where you live for Texas, if you don't mind?
San Antonio.
I live in Dallas.
I was in Dallas. I left Dallas.
And
I left Dallas in December.
Oh, okay. Come around. I'm trying to host Dr. Damages. All of you should come around when we are doing that. But Dr.
Jude and John. Yeah. Jude and John, can I ask you a question? See, sorry for laughing, but so I'm in New York. I was in DC for a very long time, for 6 years.
I lived in New York 10 years. I was in New York too.
Well, I'm in New York.
I live in New York for 9 years. I'm a New Yorker. Yeah. I live in New York. My mom is still there.
New York, Lagos.
I call it Senior Lagos. I
lived there for 9 years.
But I have a question, Jude and Brother Jude and Brother John. This whole story of women in Texas. Can you guys tell us a little bit?
No, just go there.
Dominic.
Guys taking over the show.
Texas women. What do you want to know?
No. So many people are coming out from this. I think we'll have a conversation on American nurses, African nurses in America.
I think we do.
There should be a conversation around that.
I just realized something. There is no women in this forum. We should not dabble into the Texas.
Yeah, not now. Yeah, I'm talking about another day. So what I want to do is I have a very, very extensive. Alexia, I'll come to you. A very extensive interview with this lady Jenna in London about experience of her daughter marrying someone from a different. It's very interesting. I did that earlier in the day. She couldn't join us, so I will play that. But what I wanted to do is I want to hear from all of you and then maybe say thank you to everybody. It's about 20 minutes. But if you want to hang around, you can hang around after I play it and then we can talk. But if you want to go, you can all go and then we end the show that way. But Alex, what do you want to say?
I just wanted to kind of call our attention to the real topic that we are discussing, as I understood it. I think we have done more with marriage than with our children born here. And so we deviated from that. The benefit of this discussion should be...
We do not, Doctor. Dominic is not married yet. So why do you say we deviated from that?
Okay. If that's what you are saying, then... But
no,
Okay.
no, don't do that. Oh.
I,
I've been
I
married
wanted,
before I divorced. I go Naija, marry for Naija, sit down for Naija. Before
Yeah, but if your marriage didn't last up a year, it doesn't count.
no, it's more
You
than
know?
that. Though.
okay, so
Uh,
that
It's
becomes
a few
something
hours more
that,
than a year. Few hours more than a year. Is that
yeah,
not?
our children's interests who are born here and who have gone through a different culture. My recommendation is that we should just make sure they are well educated and come to a point of being internationally uh, uh, viable. In other words, if they want to live in Canada, they will easily go and live there. If they want to live in Europe, they will do
yeah,
that.
that's what they call it, Alexi. They call it Afro uh, Afro. Oh, I forgot the word. There's a term they use for that. Children born abroad who could live in anywhere in the world.
Okay.
But the point is that they have to be well adjusted to be able to do that.
With the
If-
parents,
yeah.
to help them to attain that kind of level of maturity and have that quality. And then let's hope that whatever we call our home, whether it's Nigeria or a different name, that it will be a place that can be counted along with where they can go, because then they will probably have some interest or something to attract them there. If we are building a good nation for like every other nations of the world, then our children would not find it difficult to decide to even go and establish or invest in Nigeria or the new name that we may have. So that's the aspect I wanted to bring to light.
Okay.
Marriage of who and from where. I would advise that primarily you marry from amongst your people. Yes, that is the best that can happen if it works. But if it doesn't work, then
the problem is you.
So, Ovi asked me a question.
Can I say something quickly about
Go ahead, forefathers.
yeah, about the children? I think one from what I've seen so far is that it's very important when we have children here of mixed heritage that they visit the continent and learn about the culture. Because when they grow up here, they don't necessarily have a clear idea of how it is over there. No matter how much the parent, tries to, inform them.
Claire Osadebe and Sonia there.
Yeah, we try our best, but it's important they see their mates in Africa, what they are surviving on, and they will know where their parents came from and their conditions that they are living in. I think it's important they see that, because the ones I've seen that have done that, they tend to be more well adjusted. Because when you're in a foreign land and people see you to be slightly mixed race, you are not complete. There's something, you always feel something is missing, and at least some of them feel it. And when they have access and they're able to visit the continent, they become whole. They understand themselves a bit more, and I think that is very important. In terms of the genetics about this, I wanted to delve into more controversial areas. The African continent had quite a lot of that's the main genetic pool of humanity came from Africa, and just about a little chunk of them left the continent, and so that's what populated the whole world. This is the first time in history, the last 500 years, we know our own family of the genetic tree has been outside the continent, and part of the reasons why maybe we even survived them was because of our genetic resilience, not necessarily our hard work, really. Because if you look at the Red Indians, we were almost wiped out. South Americans almost gone, Australians gone, New Zealand gone, and what we see, you have to understand what is happening in the world is the massive expansion of the North, and they basically from Europe have almost covered the whole world, and if we are not careful, it's going to be an extinction size event that we are watching happen, and we just act as if people don't notice it because they don't check these informations out. And so we have to be cautious and understand that these things matter. I think it was Ovia that said everything is politics, and I see everything also as a form of transaction. yeah, it's all good mix up, but it has to benefit your people too. Yeah, because you don't want to, they call it swirling. The Americans call it swirling. That's mixing and having European children, chocolate and ice cream and vanilla. So that's why they call it that term. But what it means is that it could be swirling to extinction, where you mix up and then the next child and then the child after that become more and more white. I think that's what's happening with the Kwame Nkrumah's children. So we have to understand, what does it benefit us? We always have to judge our actions whether it benefits us. As a young man, I did everything young men did. So, but when one understands the dynamics at play, you have to ask where does it fit? If I have a mixed race child today, I will make sure that mixed race child grows up to understand the continent with the mind I have now. Understand the continent, benefit us, not necessarily benefit the other side that want to keep our people the same way. So I think we have to keep that in mind. And I believe that when we mix with them genetically, we are actually enriching them, not the other way around. Africa is by far more diverse than the entire. See, one black man in the south of Nigeria and another black man in the north of Nigeria is more diverse compared to a European and an Indian man or a Chinese man. That's how diverse Africa is. So genetically, they are the ones gaining from us. We are making them more resilient, and God help us, it doesn't eat us alive when the time comes. So we have to keep that in mind.
So for that, I like I said, I don't dabble into such, but I'll dabble a little bit. All these things you say very authoritative, so it seems as if they are true. Whether they are true or not, I do not know. But here's what I will tell you from my medical perspective: diversity is not a bad thing. Here, I'm not pushing either side of the argument. Diversity is not a bad thing, because when people stay in the same place and breed, and after a while, certain diseases and certain issues start to become predominant in that area. Look at the Ashkenazi Jews; they have Tay-Sachs disease because they marry themselves. So very soon, very very rare diseases, because they have this because they are in close relations and they always marry each other. Red gene and red gene meets up. It becomes very prominent, and people start having it. And so, in that sense, I'm not talking about color now. I'm just talking about pure genetics. Diversity is not a bad thing. When people marry and move around, they actually develop more resilience. So I think it's actually quite the opposite. Because think about it, the malaria belt of Africa, or malaria belt of the world is Nigeria, is pretty much the middle part of Africa,
Sub-Saharan Africa,
all the way to the Middle East, and then South America. That's where malaria is. And why do you call malaria belt? Because a lot of people there, there's what we call survival of the fittest, which means the people who are more equipped to survive any particular natural element are those who are going to end up living, right? So that sickle cell had some genetic advantage. But guess what? We are having sickle cell now in Africa. This is very very mundane example, but just to buttress my point. Now, when that person who is from a black African family marries someone who's in a different culture that doesn't have that sickle cell trait, that stuff, right? It reduces the chances that they will end up having a sickle cell trait. And so I don't think diversity is a bad thing. I think the reason I think sometimes people make a reaction react to things very negatively because we think having diversity will diminish our Africanism. I think the argument we should push is not whether or not someone should marry someone who's not African, but it's all about how you raise your kids. So I have no issue with someone who's African marrying someone who's not African, so far as they make sure that that cultural grounding is there. I would prefer that to two black people marrying, but there's no any effort to make sure that the kids are grounded in their culture.
I agree with you on that. All I'm saying is that when we do that, we have to understand what we are giving out in terms of the diversity itself. Like I said, Africa still has more diversity than the rest of the world put together. So that is what I'm
How,
talking
how,
about.
how do you verify that? Because that's
It's,
what
it's
I'm
a
trying to.
genetic fact. If you want to check it
What?
on Google, you find that.
Okay,
It's a,
I will look more into
okay,
it.
let me, because I've done, I'm not of medical background, but I've done, because I was fascinated by this.
Yeah.
The African tree, there are three major matrilineal branch, which
Okay.
is the L1, L2, and L3. L3 is the one that left the continent, while they left the continent, but they still are in the continent. So the three branches of the matrilineal line is still on the continent, procreating
Left
and
before
mutating.
slavery, you mean? L3 left before.
Well before slavery.
Okay. Right.
And so those three are still the L3 that left the continent. That little bit of L3 that left the continent is the one that created all the other groups you see outside the continent. And then the patrilineal line, similar stuff happened, but to a lesser degree. So that's why at the African continent, it's almost as if we have been like they said 10 times more mutation has happened in Africa than the rest of the world put together. So it tells you that we are very, very old. And so it means that when basically they are our children, and if we don't, we have to start understanding that the top has become the bottom today, and our people, our direct people, Nigerians, the Bantus, and all, we are the ones that have never really left the continent at all, because we dominated the continent. That's why the population of the continent today, we make up about 70 to 80% of the people on the continent, but we are the weakest today. And that is something I just say, I'm not up. See, diversity is good. Any little extra diversity is a good thing for life to continue. But you have to see it's a transaction. I always say it's a transaction, and we are giving more. And we also have to remember this is how our people sold our own human beings as slaves. We keep giving our people away. And we want to understand that this transaction has to benefit us too. And that's how I look at it.
The reason why I keep interjecting is because I don't want us to conflate Pan-Africanism with whether or not diversity is a good thing. I was trying to separate that.
True.
I think that sometimes when people become very heated and very Pan-Africanist, they start to push out some of these conspiracies of like Africa is more stronger genetically than something, things that don't have any basis in science.
I'm sorry, it's not controversial. It's from their own report. Okay. I'm not using my own report. It's their own report about what they said. They actually did you can check it. They did a study in America itself. They tested the African Americans. Then they found out that these people are more resilient than their own this thing. So it's not this. I hate false information, and I hate injecting false. So whatever I say here, I often research, and I encourage people to do that, because we have to do our due diligence.
All right.
I'll look into it.
All right. I want to thank everybody for joining us.
You always say Sasha tweet something that Sasha should tweet out today is this.
Okay, go ahead. Oh, Sasha, hold on. Let me call Sasha. Okay. All right, go ahead.
I'm not a pastor, but Proverbs chapter 22 verse 6 says, "Train up a child how they should live, and they remember it all their life." You know, different or when he or she. So if you want your kids to go back to Africa, go back to Nigeria, and be part of the culture, you have to make that effort. It is not enough to be playing Osadebe and all this music. You have to put effort, bring your kids back. One of my uncles didn't really do that. He was having all those, he was coming back to Nigeria every summer. And it baffled me. You want your kids to marry Nigerians, to have that strong culture, but you're not bringing them back every summer. And then all of a sudden, he's surprised that his kids are marrying Chinese. Because if you just doing the bare minimum here, every day in the house is going to make a difference. No, you have to actually teach your kids to be interested in African culture. Also, one thing that we should not be doing is this: there's negativity in Africa, but when you teach your kids about the culture, try to show them from that negativity. There's negativity everywhere. There's negativity in America, right? But they're still able to live and enjoy it. So try to let them to see the positive. It's not always about. Sometimes maybe you should put in some effort not to be talking about politics and how horrible things are back home. That is what we keep first to get them interested. Now, as they grow up, they can see, there's all these political issues, yes, but our culture is very rich. Look at our music industry. Look at our entertainment industry. Second, one of the best in the world. So once you take out these vulture politicians, We have everything that we need. Why am I here in America suffering as a doctor, working 6 days a week, 13 to 14 hours? I mean, I have off today. That's why I came to see my parents in New York. But what am I doing here? You know, it's because of the political situation and how horrible things are. But it don't show you that
That's why we send those groups
everything
away.
else is amazing back home. What am I doing here? So teach them the positives. Like one of my sisters, she lives in Lagos. She started this YouTube channel, where she teaches Igbo. What she had to do to encourage, because the kids were around non-Igbos, she had to put a little effort to make sure that the kids were able to speak Igbo. And so she involves them in the videos. They are, she's teaching lessons on YouTube, and the kids are responding. And that's how she's able to encourage them. So you have to put in, if you don't put in effort, then don't be surprised 20, 30 years after your kids bring someone who's not Nigerian.
Dr. Dameji, is Sasha single?
Sasha, let me check again.
If she's single, I'm available.
Okay, I'll check with her. Thank you, everyone. It's been more than 3 hours. I really appreciate all your time, and it's not easy. We do this because we hopefully we share knowledge, and when you discuss these things, people learn one or two things, and it helps all of us. I want to thank you for joining me. Ovie, thank you for being here. Forefathers, thank you so much for joining. Janaba, thank you so much. Ago, I know you just joined us.
I just came in.
Next time we will get to hear from you. Okay?
I just woke up.
Good. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you.
Alex Njoko.
Anybody will get time. Stay behind. We'll talk for the background.
Oh yeah. No. Actually, today will be different because I'm going to play the interview I had.
Oh, okay.
Yes, I want you to watch it. It's amazing.
By the way, Jude is playing young, but look at the shirt he's wearing.
It's my wife. It's my wife, and you have to. Alex, thank you so much.
This morning.
Una need to.
Wow.
Need to pay attention.
I will let her know.
Kanuri man, where not at the that's what kind of awkward conversation.
You know what you need to do there? You got married into that Fulani where they flog you like.
Right? No. But I don't go married to Arab.
Alex Njoko, thank you so much for joining us.
All right.
Dr. Dominic, thank you so much for joining us.
Typical Nigeria, Mr. Abu, you come
please hang on and watch this interview. It's very funny and interesting, I think. And then we'll see you at the other end. Thank you, everybody.
All right. Thank you. Let's watch the interview.
Okay, so joining us from London is Jenna. Jenna has a daughter that got married to a Danish man. So we want to talk to her about how the family dealt with the experience. As we are doing today, we are sharing experiences of people who have family that are married to a different race. So Jenna, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, and thanks for having me.
Yeah, it's wonderful to have you. So to start with, because this is a conversation that is for Africans abroad.
Yeah, I'm an Igbo woman.
Okay.
But I lived in London for 39 years.
Oh wow.
But I'm still very much an Igbo.
No. Maybe now you have what is that honor that the Queen gives people? Of the British Empire. OBE. Yeah.
So I deserve an OBE.
You should get that. Yeah. With the weather and everything. Now, let's talk about interracial marriages. A lot of people, we've been talking about it today. A lot of people, at one point, you don't know what your daughter or your son, especially people who were born abroad and they grew up there, who they will come home with, who they will say that this is the person they want to marry. How did your family tell us a little bit of the story?
In my own case, I don't think that, like my daughter, because you have some daughters who would say to the parents, this is the way I'm going, or this is I'm going to. That's where this is where my interest is. But in my own case, she didn't express any interest, because as soon as she started dating, and she brought the young man to us, and straight away I fell in love with the man, with the young man, straight away. So, I mean, my other daughter says I have an open door policy, that everybody that comes in I welcome, and to be honest, and that's the way to go, because I wouldn't like to ring fence or put any barriers before my children, because their happiness actually is what matters most, is their happiness. So, and when we talk about interracial, because if I dwell on that phrase, I may start seeing differences, but I don't really see differences. What I see is a fantastic young man, a nice, caring, loving young man, who is my son-in-law. So I don't really see race. Honest, I don't.
Now, what about the father of the your daughter? I mean, I'm assuming, yeah.
Yeah. My husband is a typical Igbo man, if there's any such thing as a traditional Igbo man.
Yes.
And I mean, naturally, he would like to have Igbo son-in-laws.
Someone to grateful or not with.
Exactly, and then share palm wine with.
Palm wine.
Yes, but it didn't happen. But the good thing about him is he didn't make any physical moves or psychological moves even to stop the relationship. You know, he was equally welcoming. And but where he would disagree with you or us is where we have an event and you want to compel him to wear something that is.
Oh yeah, to put on the three-piece suit or tuxedo.
Yes. So for him, as long as he's got his red cap and then wears something,
of course,
wears his Dantiki or Igbo, anything with his red cap, that's fine.
He deserves the honor of the British Empire for sticking for the Igbo culture.
He has to fly the flag for the Igbo culture. So that's him. Yeah. So it's unfortunate, you know, when parents make life so difficult, you know, for their children when this happens. I just hope that the parents would sort of realize that the marriage is not actually theirs, is their children's marriage, and for them to support the union. And to be honest, you don't actually know which son-in-law is going to be the best, because you could dwell on your daughter marrying an Igbo man, and he brings an Igbo man to you. You know, you okay it and bless them, and 4 years down the line is hell. And you don't wish that. That sort of on anybody.
Now, I don't know if there was a kind of evolution in the process, or is everybody we're at that point? I mean, you and your husband, we're at that point where you say anybody will accept it. There are some people who had to evolve. Do you have, even if it's not personal, do you have other experiences by maybe other families where it became an issue?
I have other experiences. I mean, before going to other people, in my own case, when my son-in-law introduced the subject of marriage, my husband said to him, in our culture, see, in my culture, I won't be speaking to you. I'll be speaking to your parents.
To your family, not just parents, to your family. You are people. Yeah. Good.
Exactly. That's what he said to him. And then he said straight away, well, my father would do anything I ask him to do. And I tell you, within 2 months, they all flew in from.
Wow.
So we got all the elders ready for the introduction, and yeah, so it was actually a good gathering. Yeah, not many elders, but and then
when
the
2
day.
or 3 are there,
Yes. But the traditional wedding was also very good, because it's like we had an entourage from Denmark, and they all had a shebi, they all had uniforms.
Wow.
It was so good. It was so good.
Good.
And and it's been going well. It's just been going well.
Good.
Well, nobody knows what happens behind closed doors, but from what I can see,
of course,
they're happy. And for other people, I've had people who have had difficulties as in accepting, but I usually act as a mediator between like my friends and the new family, and usually give them tips and hints on how to make things work. And some are actually embracing and encouraging and promoting this sort of interracial relationship. So
now, why do people, to begin with, because people might be listening to this and wondering, why do people begin with want their children to marry from their own ethnic group? What is the thinking behind that?
I think the big thing is about culture, because they want people who can understand your roots. Yeah, they want people you can share the same, like, aspirations, dreams, food, clothing, anything to do with culture. And sometimes what they say as well is that if you are rooted in Igbo culture, that the marriage tends to last forever, or last longer than
Not anymore, but
yes. And that's what they're saying, because what they usually say is divorce is not in our culture. And you hear Igbo men saying it. Even our moms at home will say, we don't have divorce in our culture. So even when somebody is struggling within that relationship, all you hear is divorce is not our thing, it's not in our culture. And I think that's why, because they feel that the Igbo women endure more, or they tolerate more. But I don't know how far people can tolerate these days, because you know that our patience and your capacity to tolerate is not unending. Isn't it? Because you can stretch and stretch and stretch that elastic band, and you can snap. Okay, so we don't really, yeah. I know, yes, some people do. I mean, they want us to want our daughters or sons to marry from within our culture, because they feel that when the challenges come, now that both of you can withstand it better, because you have that culture behind you. Except that it doesn't work that much. It doesn't work.
Now, let me ask you, because some people say also that the other question is moving forward, the next generation. What does that look like? So, for instance, some people raise the issue of if you retire, let's say you retire back to Nigeria, most people dream about that. It never happens in most cases, but let's say you retire. Is there any chance that your grandchildren will come and visit you, or you will see your grandchildren? Or is there any chance that your grandchildren will be able to speak your language? Or even if they come to visit, let's say you are in a village, will they be able to communicate with the other people in the
I mean, the advantage of having this sort of interracial relationship is the exposure to both worlds, or different worlds. In my grandson's case, he's exposed to Igbo, is exposed to English and is exposed to Danish culture. And in his room, he has alphabets, because I used to teach Igbo when I was a teacher in Nigeria. So I did the alphabets, set of Igbo alphabets for him. My daughter did the English, and then his dad did the Danish alphabet. So, and he does pick up Igbo words, and of course he speaks English, and then his dad speaks Danish to him. So he has the best of both worlds, if I can put it that way. And in terms of visiting Nigeria, that shouldn't be a problem. That shouldn't be a problem. Yeah, when things quieten down, they can come to Nigeria.
Well,
Yes.
one last question. This is something also that has come up in the sense that people say, even I'm talking about people, parents who actually want their kids to marry from their own ethnic group. But then we find out that most of them, especially in Europe and in America, they are maybe middle class families. They end up moving to rich area or white area, and interact with white kids in white schools. And then when it comes time for marriage, they now remember, oh, we want them to marry someone who is, but they've not interacted with them. Their friends are not from that culture. So how will they end up turn around and now go and marry somebody?
To be honest, it's very ambitious of those parents, because you cannot expose your son to a Mercedes, for example, as in a car, that sort of taste in cars, and then all of a sudden you want him to be driving I'm not putting down.
We are going to go to Volkswagen Beetle from Mercedes to Beetle.
Okay. Forgive me, VW. But you know what I mean.
I know what you mean. Just say Range Rover. We can use Range Rover. Aha. Okay. Yeah, they are the same class. Let's assume they are the same class.
Exactly. For you unless they have this exposure to like different race at university, for example, that's the only time you would expect them to go from like a purely white society, and they go from a purely white society into like a university in Birmingham, where they will have the demographics is very diverse. Yeah. So when it's that diverse, that's when there's a chance of your son or daughter coming home with like a black lady or Asian lady, but you just cannot, raise your child in a predominantly white area, and all of a sudden you're telling the child, you're going to marry a black woman or marry. It doesn't work that. It's not that automatic.
Exactly.
Unless perhaps they went to a conference and then they start chatting, and they make some connection, and then the relationship will start from there. But so
that's good. That's good. Now, did you or your husband or anybody around the kids try, because that's something else that parents try to do, connect them to people, hoping that like take them to Igbo events, cultural events, hoping that something will happen?
Yes, all of them. They used to go to events. We used to take them as kids to events, and they have a group of people, young people they describe as their cousins. But what we did was to actually tell them who their blood cousins are within the cousins.
Jenna, let me stop you a little bit. Can you move? You're moving out of the screen a little bit, so cutting you off. Yeah, a little bit. Move. Yeah. Okay, a little bit more. So you'll be at the center. Okay, that's better. Yeah. Okay, good. Sorry. Go ahead. Okay. Yeah, you were saying that
we used to take them to events.
Yeah.
Am I still in your
Yeah,
view?
yeah, yeah.
No,
Well, when you speak, you move. It looks like you're
okay.
moving to
Yeah, we used to take them events, take them
okay.
to all events, all Igbo, cultural events,
Yeah.
and so they know who their cousins are. They know who they have. They have a network
Okay.
of Igbo youths.
Yeah.
Yeah, they have a network of Igbo youths. But the trouble there is they know them as sort of family. So they would not go now and then go and start talking marriage.
Yes, yes, yes.
Yes. I mean, although I told them the family members they couldn't marry. Well, not family really. I mean, I'm on. Oh, my camera.
Yeah. Okay. Yes.
So they know anyway. They know. Yes, the people that they can marry among this set of cousins.
Yeah.
But to be honest, because they are so comfortable with that group, they're just happy meeting up. Even in I mean, recently we went to a gathering and they all go to their own table. They all sit together, so they are just happy being cousins. Yeah, they are just happy being cousins. So I mean, so that's fine. So I mean, they will find their soulmates from different groups. And actually, when I just hope my children will not watch this. I actually
they might.
I tried matchmaking, like when they were 18, they get 18th birthday, I'll say, why don't you invite this person? Why don't you invite her? Why don't you invite him? Oh, but mom, I don't even talk to her. Why do I want to invite her?
Exactly.
And I said, if I said to my son, if we invited so and so, say for their 21st birthday, and why don't you invite them? Oh, but mom, but I haven't spoken to her for 5 years. Why do I want to?
That's the challenge.
This is our subtle way of trying to
make connections. It didn't work.
But it didn't work. It didn't work.
Wow. It's amazing.
But they are happy with
that's the most important thing. That's the most important
thing. They're settled with, and
that's the most important thing. And thank you so much for sharing this story.
Thanks. Okay. I mean, my son wouldn't mind because I used to say to my son, I said, before you fall in love, make sure the name is Igbo. Make sure she has an Igbo name.
Why? But why are you expecting that of your son when you could?
Before you fall in love, make sure she has an Igbo name. And you said, yes, mom. He didn't want to argue with me.
Of course.
And then he brought his girlfriend, and I said, where is she from? He told me. I said, but I said, it's okay. And then let me see her. And I tell you, as soon as I saw her photograph, I just said, that's my daughter-in-law.
Wow.
And I tell you, ever since, I haven't even called her by her name. All I said is, where's my daughter-in-law?
Wow. That's amazing.
She's non-Nigerian.
Oh.
But I've already accepted her. And she's accepted me as her mother-in-law. So that's love.
Yeah, that's wonderful. That's a beautiful story. And I hope some people will gain something from this, your experience. Thank you so much for sharing with us.
You can tell your audience that love rules the day.
Thank you.
All right. And thank you so much for having me.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
That's all right.
All right.
Okay then. Bye-bye.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, who is still here?
I wonder why Mahmoud can never slap you on the back of the head for spending 2.5 hours on the computer.
I know. She's not home. So thank you guys for being here. It's been wonderful. To me, these are the most important kinds of conversations. I know that people want to talk about politics and presidential candidates and politicians, but what we deal with individually on the local level when you are home is sometimes it's more important. It has more impact on us than what they're doing in Abuja or in Kigali or wherever in the world. But I really appreciate everybody here, and I will go offline, and then if you want to have conversation, we can still hang out and have conversation. But I have to end the broadcast. But thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us and having me. I mean,
Thank you.
Me.
Thank you, everyone.